Hello, everyone. Welcome to
Welcome.
the Yukan Fuji Women's League broadcast here on the WRC channel. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the streams. We'll keep them coming. I'm Chiral, and today I'm joined by Gemma for
Hello.
session 6.
I said hello in a really creepy way somehow. I don't know how you did that, but I did it. Hello.
Hello. Hello there.
It's like that weird old man on the bus that you want to wish you hadn't sat near. Anyway,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Back
Just
to the
doing like a
Mahjong.
weird wave with like swiggling the fingers. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Welcome, everybody.
Don't say hello like that when you sit down to play Mahjong, people, because you might not get invited back to play Mahjong.
I think that's good advice.
Yeah.
Yes. We will be here to stream the Yukan Fuji Cup today. I am Chiral. You may find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/itsmechiral. And Gemma, you'll see around the place pretty much everywhere, being WRC president, but also on the, I believe it's X, right? On at damaqueen Gem.
Yeah. Yes.
Later
Twitter
on today.
The normal
Twitter,
people.
yeah. Yeah, I tried getting it right because I'm on stream. If it was any other time, I would have said Twitter.
No, I just, no. Anyway,
Yeah,
on the socials.
Yeah, exactly. And definitely follow the channel for more WC Riichi content. But yeah, later on today, we'll be joined by the talented Jeremy, otherwise known as Tipzntrix, and Arthur, otherwise known as Corak. Our broadcast today is sponsored by the WRC and USPML. We hope you'll check out Sparrow's Nest, a New York Mahjong studio fully equipped with Slim Score, Ultima, and Rex 3 autotables. WRC, hopefully you know what they are by now if you're here on the WRC channel, but we are the World Riichi Championship, the most prestigious and international Mahjong tournament in the world. It's held once every 3 years. The next one will be in Tokyo in 2025.
Yay.
I am told the quotas for countries throughout the world have just been announced.
They are.
WRC president,
if you go over to the website, WRC2025Tokyo.com, you can see the initial region quotas. I say initial because many people have pointed out that it doesn't add up to a multiple of 4. And that's true. I can't lie, but we are good at maths. The reason for that is that, we've got some seats that we keep back for qualifiers, like the Roddle. The Roddle had a seat for the best overseas player, outside of Japan player. And so there's still time if you're not managing to qualify through your country organization. There are other options opening up for you to qualify for Tokyo 2025. So yeah, quota announcement's always a bit stressful for me, I'm not gonna lie. Never quite sure how it's gonna land. There's always a lot of disappointed people, maybe some people who are a little bit happy. But yeah, with the explosion in Riichi in the last, I don't know, 3 years over COVID, basically, right? Yeah, what used to be a more fun activity of saying, "Do you want to come? Do you want to come?" Now it's like, I'm really sorry, we can't. The inn is full now.
you don't have so much space.
I know we just need more space. So it's a big event. There's 256 seats available in total. If I was quicker, I'd be able to tell you how many tables that was. 60. But yes, so thank you everyone for supporting the World Riichi Championship to get this far, to get us back to Tokyo. And even if you don't make it through, I really hope you'll support us by liking and subscribing on this channel and watching our wonderful videos. Thank you very much.
Hopefully you'll enjoy them very much as we enjoy making them.
That was a good segue. That was a good segue. Yeah. I like that. Yeah,
exactly. You did mention the Roddle, though, and that has now concluded, right? How did you do?
It has. I just said that. I was 169.5, so I'm around the 300 mark. So nowhere near the top. But I'm actually quite happy with that. Out of 800 people ranking. 300.
You say around 300, 301st? I've got the list here.
301. I'll take that. And how about yourself? How did you do?
Where did I put myself? I finished in 215th place with 203.4. I'm very proud of that. I think I got very lucky near the end. I had a nice streak. It was shut down by one of my friends, but
Oh, Oh,
It's
you're
always the
still
case.
calling
But
them a
then,
friend. That's very nice.
but then I think I may have done the same to other people too. So that's just how mahjong be sometimes.
It's how Mahjong is. Yeah. I don't know how any of us actually face each other the next day, to be honest. There must be a lot of, animosity going around the community. But hey ho. Yeah, it was a great event though. I think, I was really happy when people came up to me at events and stuff, real life events, and were like, "Oh, I've been really enjoying the online league event. It's been really great. I'm failing, I'm losing horribly, but I'm enjoying it." And that's really what I want. In the end, Mahjong, if I have an event of 256 people, say, I've basically got 255 losers. And there can only ever be one winner. So you've got to find fun in that journey of defeat, I guess.
For me,
Yeah,
it's
I think-
also if you have a chance to play against really, really strong people, sure you'll lose, but like, how much could you learn by playing against
I know.
really good people, right? The only way to get better is to play people better than you, right?
Exactly. We could all just get our mums and dads to play and beat them every weekend, but it's not gonna put you any further on your mahjong journey. So hopefully the Rottle was an opportunity for lots of people to take a big leap in their personal mahjong journeys. And as announced at the end of this Rottle, this was a 4-player online team league. We are going to do a 3-player online team league starting in January 2025. So if you're one of those degenerates who likes 3-player mahjong, boy, do I have the event for you. So write it down in your diaries. I hope you'll join us again. It's going to look very similar, the format, but 3-player instead of 4.
I'm both excited and terrified.
Do you like 3-player?
Kind of do, but I tend to keep my 3-player in small doses. Rather than just sitting down for 6 hours and playing 4-player, I'll do like 2 or 3 games of 3-player. I'll be like, I've had fun. I'm done now.
I find it very frustrating. I don't know. I'm fascinated. People either love it, get really frustrated. You're very unusual. You seem genuinely ambivalent.
I see it as a training exercise for 4-player. I don't see it as its own sort of game mode, as it were. Like it's a good place to practice efficiency because you're more likely to hit tempai. You're also more likely to be left in like 1 or 2 suit hands because you take out the manzi.
Yeah.
So because of that, it's like, how do I maximize my weights? It's more of a sort of mental exercise. I see it as.
I mean, 3-player is very successful in Japan. Originating Kansai, if anyone's interested. Yeah, always popular in the mahjong parlors. So I think we might get even more professionals playing 3-player than we got them playing 4-player, because I think, as someone said earlier today, pros love 3-player, and it's true, they absolutely love it. Apart from Gemma.
Apart from Gemma, no. I know Jen's a big fan of 3-player.
Jen is a wonderful, Jen really loves it, and it really perfectly suits her personality as well. Like it's a good. But I love Jen, so I love you, Jen. It's not the 3-player. It's not the 3-player. Anyway, that's what we're up to at the moment.
But we're here to
today. Yukan Fuji.
Yukan Fuji Cup Women's League. This is round, I believe, 6, session 6, yes. And we have 4 teams today. Let's talk through them, shall we? We have Team Matsukaze, another Mahjong Keirin Club team. And that was the racing, right?
Yes, there's a horse there racing.
I don't quite know why Mahjong and motorcycle racing works, but... Oh, wait, it was a horse... You said horse racing. Of course, there's a horse right there.
There's a horse there. But
there's a horse right there.
I think it's bike racing, no? I'm confused now. Some sort of racing.
I'm sure that Jen will probably correct us if we are wrong.
Someone can correct us in a minute. Yeah.
Jen, our lovely repository of knowledge. We also have Mahjong Day Service, Wel-chao, a Mahjong Parlor daycare service for seniors.
I'm uncomfortable saying daycare service for your elderly folk. I don't know. I have to drop a kid off at nursery every day, and I just hope that you're not dropping off your elderly parents and they're like sobbing, going, "Don't leave me again."
I guess the equivalent for the UK would be like the University of Third Age or something like that. Like where you have older people, like above 50, meeting to play Mahjong together.
I know, but you don't need to drop them off.
You don't have to call it a daycare, though. Calling it a daycare is an interesting choice. It's probably just the way it's translated, though. We have the Mahjong Cafe with What a little
Is that a maid
little cat
cafe? Is that a
girl?
mahjong maid cafe? Because that's like a cat maid there, no?
It does look like that, doesn't it? Yeah.
I do like the way they've made the food. Katakana look like a teacup, though. I am with a little table there.
Oh,
but
that
I
is
am
good.
very
That is
pro
really
that.
good.
That's cute. That's cute.
But there's
I
there's
would be
something more
tempted to
cool
visit that
than the
maid
cat
cafe.
girl.
Even though I generally avoid maid cafes, I might visit that one. That clever typography has attracted me.
And finally, we have the ML Stadium, a mahjong party that features M League rules and guests.
Yeah, Mahjong League, M League Stadium is always popular in Tokyo. So if you're going to Tokyo, good recommendation on the M League Stadium. People love it there. So
I do like the way that they wrote their name in the shape of one pin. It's very, very neat.
yeah, it's tidy.
Yeah. Who will be representing these teams, though? We will find out very soon. In the dealer seat, we'll be watching Kaede Suzuki from NPM, representing Team Matsukaze. In the south seat, we'll be seeing Momoka Matsushima, or Team Wel-chao, representing JPML. In the west seat, we have Natsumi Minase from NPM, representing the Mahjong Cafe. And finally, in the north seat, Yukari Asakura represents Team ML Stadium from NPM.
Of NPM on this table.
A lot of NPM from this table, yeah. 3 NPM versus 1 JPML. So,
I mean, I'm not biased, but go JPML.
Go JPML? Okay. The scores are actually really close. So the way the scores work in the Yukan Fuji Cup is there are 16 groups of 4. Each group will battle the other 3 teams in their group over 10 sessions. This is session 6. And then the top team for each group and the top individual players will advance to 2 different final tournaments. So only the top team makes it through to the final, but it's very close between all 4 teams here, with Matsukaze in a slight lead, but one game could change it, let alone the 3 we're going to see today. So I suppose all that's left is to start the match off and see what happens. No, don't look at that! Look away! Wait, hang on.
Look away! Don't look at that!
Wait, no, look at this. Don't look at the other one. Look at this one. This is the one you should look at. Sorry. Don't look at the other one.
I'll just
Look at this one
interject
instead.
here. This is actually where WRC is. So this is actually this upcoming session is actually session 7. So the previous one was at the end of session 6. If I just go back to it here, Matsukaze is in the lead, ML Stadium in second, and you saw, as we mentioned, all the teams play the same team for the entire preliminaries, so they're all going to be playing each other. These were the results at the end of session 6, and this is coming up to session 7. WRC here says session 5 because they didn't play in session 6, I believe. So this is this is their current score going into also session 7. Yeah, they had the bye. Sometimes some teams will get a bye.
Not every team plays every session, yeah.
But interestingly enough, Jen is playing this weekend, so that should be exciting. And I believe next weekend you'll be able to see her on the TV broadcast table.
Yeah, she's refusing to commentate, isn't she? Which,
right there.
Yeah.
So we're commentating 3 times in November, back to back to back, every week.
Wow.
That's gonna be exciting.
I know I get to commentate one of those matches. I think it's with Gemma, if I remember correctly. So I wonder which of the LOLC team we're going to be seeing. Is it Jen for all 3 games? I know Jen's in at least one, because she said she's not going to be commentating her own match. But yes, so apologies for that. Yes, I saw the session 5 and panicked for a second there. Thank you, Deus Ex Tips.
Was it Tipzntrix Machina, no?
Tipzntrix Machina, yes, that would make more sense. Well, yes. Let's move on to the match.
Yes, we won't test our Latin today. We're gonna have to test our Japanese pronunciation enough. Oh look, it's a little vibe of the studio. Oh look, I like that lady. That lady Nakano in the far left, she's really nice.
Okay.
If you see her, she's super nice. But there's the Little logo, which freaks me out. So I did do some research about Little, the hair salon with the creepy logo, on Twitter. And yeah, all of the lady pros like going there. So before the Tokyo event, I'm going to go there. I'm going to book in, and I want my hair to be done by the creepy logo place.
Honestly, fair.
Yeah, I can't obsess over their logo. They're like, oh, why did you choose us? I'm like, you have a creepy logo.
Imagine though, they could be tuning in. They could be watching.
They could be watching. Our overlay is different now.
Well, yes, exactly.
It's improved, maybe.
We're showing the team starting amount. So yes, we get to see not only the score of the teams going into each match, but also the current team score according to the player's current score. So, as the scores change, we'll be seeing what the projected final score after the match will be. I love this. This is something that I'm all for. Also, do we have an orphan's attempt in East 1? So just to get back to the Mahjong here. Hang on.
Yeah, as I say, you're too much enjoying the quality of life improvement.
To Man, and quite a few terminal tiles and honors. We'll see.
No.
Yeah, it's a hard commit.
No, you can't be. That's just cheeky to do a Yakuman in the first hand. That's
my assumption is that the strategy is that this hand is not actually a very good start, and so realistically, the actual objective is to fold and just hoard all of the safe tiles. Because yeah, we will see it's not very likely because obviously the new.
I'm waiting for someone to come and adjust Asakura's camera though, because her shoulder really is blocking. You wouldn't want your Yakuman with your shoulder blocking half your hand, would you? Oh, yes, look, someone's adjusted the camera. Thank you, camera dude. Yeah, it's actually really difficult to, if anyone has ever attempted to film Mahjong. Like, you get them all to sit there and you're like, is this how you're going to sit? Is this how you're going to play Mahjong? And they're like, sure, this is how you play Mahjong. And as soon as the game starts, you find they all lean forward. You know, they forget that their nice position they were sat in when you asked them. And then you're there like desperately fiddling with the camera to try and pull it back.
I wonder what would you just have to do like a test hand channel or a test 2 or 3 hands? Just to actually see the players play for a bit and then adjust accordingly?
I mean, they probably do that when they know, okay, well, it's these 4 sitting here for like the next 3 hand channel. But I don't think they can do that for this because they could swap out, right? In between the hand channel.
Oh, true.
So there's probably some poor person scuttles in and quickly adjusts the camera.
Yeah, I can only imagine how, like, keeping the. I know you go through training, right? When you go for the protest, right? You go through training about how to actually be useful, like in a good position, so you don't block anything. But yeah,
it's just natural, right? It's just human nature to when they settle into their seat, or like.
Especially if you've got a really good hand and you're like, oh, I can't wait to draw the next tile.
Oh no! Start touching your face. Oh no, what's going on? Yeah, I do not have a good poker face. Not a good poker face at all.
I could only imagine how readable I must be.
That's why we have to play online, right?
Yeah, that's fair. Sign up for the summer tournament. Go on, do it.
Yeah, sign up for the 3-player tournament, please. I genuinely don't think I can play for personal reasons. Otherwise, I would play. Despite I would try to be converted to 3-player Mahjong, just for the sake of everyone else.
Yeah, I do think that it has value because, if only just as like a training exercise, but whether you then want to spend hours trying to get a good streak, we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, this turned into a very standard hand, despite the fact that we saw that orphan's attempt. The Green Dragon was Dora, but it was played very quickly, so no one has Dora here, but that doesn't mean people aren't going to be able to build their own value from Yaku.
Yeah, Asakura's hand's not looking terrible, but, we're in the later stage of the game. That's some aggressive calling, and what for? North Wind, it's not really worth it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, no one's quite getting close to tempo yet. I mean, a lot of people are close. It's just we're already at the end of the hand. There are some being more aggressive calls here, but I just think people are going to be struggling to even hit Tenpai here.
No, I mean, I think from Asakura's perspective, she's read that there's no real value on the table, so you may as well pick up 1,000 points if it's going to be there. But
yeah, it's always the case, right? When you have a format when you've seen the Dora, that is Tenpai.
That's Tenpai there, yeah.
Matsushima, but it's just not a particularly exciting Tenpai. I would normally be really excited to draw 4 of the same tile, but it's just not the right time to make anything useful from it, unfortunately.
Yeah. She's not going to throw that east, right? Not at this point.
No.
That's the only way Suzuki's going to move forward.
Okay, chance to swap their weight, but they choose not to. Did they have Sanchoku? No, I don't think that was 2-4 pin. It was something else.
Minase doesn't really need to play this at all, really. I mean, oh, see, look, even the professionals fumble their tiles.
I believe I saw a picture someone posted in one of the Mahjong servers about someone making a false call. Oh, they have the Yaku, but they have just sumoed. Unfortunately, you're going to have to be 3-10 now, waiting on the 1-4. Honestly, though, I think even if they did have a Yaku, the value of that is probably worth more exhaustive draw.
Now does she can?
Surely not.
She does.
Oh, okay. I'm honestly surprised.
I bet you she sat there calculating how many more tiles left because she can rid someone of a draw, right?
Okay. And that is Tenpai.
Right if she throws the east, which is a little bit of a risky throw in this situation, but she can do it.
It probably won't. It will get called, yes, of course. But still not Tenpai for her either.
I guess if she calls.
It's definitely always one of those fun things, right? When you make a call, but not because it advances your hand at all, just because it denies someone else a draw or moves or denies yourself the last draw in case you do deal in on that very last discard. Something I try to think about, but it's a lot harder to think about in a live game. You don't have a nice number telling you how many draws are left.
Yeah, and you don't want to stop the game. You don't want to pause the game, right? Because then, well, it's a difficult one, that one.
Either way,
yeah, professionals do fumble tiles and they do make false calls, as that infamous picture going around the internet is showing that from an M League game.
Yeah, I mean, don't be embarrassed about it. It's just something that happens. Unfortunately, it happens to you. I know I've heard many stories about the fact about times where you've.
I really do like getting into too few tile show high situations for reasons I don't understand. I
see.
I'm just blind to it. I don't know, and I curse the day that I approved that being made chombo in the WRC rules. It was I said, live by the sword, die by the sword. It's I better chombo plenty of times.
Yeah, and will pass.
It's funny, when I was training to be a professional, though, I was at a session with this other lady who was far more experienced than me, and I actually don't know how she did it, but she pushed the wall forward and it basically exploded. Like there were tiles everywhere, like all over the floor. And I was just so yeah.
I've definitely tried to do that made that mistake when building a wall, but not just knocking it. Oh gosh.
It was in the middle of a game as well. Like she was just adjusting it so that I guess she had a bit more space, but really just everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. And we're like crawling around the floor looking for tiles that had gone under like this bookcase or whatever. I think she was really embarrassed.
I can sympathize with that. I would be too. I would be incredibly embarrassed.
I thought it was the best thing I'd seen for a while.
I think it's very interesting that Asakura here decided not to cut the one so really early. I would have been locked in on a half flush there from her start. But she cut the white dragon instead, and I thought, I just think it's interesting. I would have cut the one so first because it's just a terminal that wasn't attached to anything, and then maybe not necessarily cut the I think it's the Manzu block in her hand. It was a 2-4. It wasn't 3-5. It's not that great, but I might have decided to cut that, especially if I ended up pairing with a white dragon.
Yeah. So I guess they're marking the dealer here with a red line. under
They
the
are, yeah. The dealer's slightly underlined. I think it's.
red
I think.
against orange is not great.
Mm,
It's going to be my feedback.
I'm not going to be making huge demands of Jen, but it would be nice if it's a little bit more clear who the dealer was. Yeah.
Well, I think that part of the overlay is provided by the Yukan Fuji folks. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
In that case, then I
we're
can
going to send that
can
feedback.
demand. It would be nice.
Yeah, that's
I
a
think
little bit.
I think part of the issue is because we've popped the names underneath as well,
Perhaps,
so it
yeah.
kind of covers it a little bit as well.
This is true.
But we can work on that.
Yeah, so Jen works very hard to put the English names on and get the overlay already, so it's easier for the English folk to follow along.
Suzuki here, one away from the good old Mentan pin. Kind of love to see it, but it's what you always try and aim for, but not necessarily always what you get. You just have to sort of accept that good things will come to those who wait, but we'll see. Keeping the red dragon.
Asakura is going for a flush, it looks like.
See, Asakura, I think she would have been better off if she committed to flush earlier, but maybe that's me just being a casual who hard commits to hands really early.
You know what though? I kind of agree with you because the North Wind isn't an honor for her, isn't a value group for her. Yeah, having a value group in there would be really.
Oh,
nice.
I do like the Riichi marker. Sorry, I just talking about the UI again. I do like the little Riichi stick that appears. That's actually really cool.
Oh,
Suzuki.
yeah.
Tempai for Riichi, all simples, and Pinfu. You really can't ask for a better weight. Well, I suppose you can, but
You can always ask for a better weight.
it's just too greedy. I feel guilty asking for a better weight sometimes.
You can't be a Mahjong player and not be greedy.
I mean, fair.
Another Dora.
But yeah, I'm just imagining for Asakura though, had we hard committed to that flush from draw 1, would have had Tempai waiting on the North and the White Dragon instead of North and the 5-man here.
Yeah, that would have been nice, but it's not what she's got. Is she going to push forward?
No, not to the reach. Get it back into Tempai though. Just has to find something around that 4-pin. But yeah, I do feel like a lot of players here are probably going to be out of this hand very quickly. Yeah, we're getting close to the end.
Yeah. Well, it's still a whole row of discards. Still action. Oh, is that Dora? Yes, it is, because that's not the Dora indicator. That's the actual Dora.
That's the actual Dora. The Dora indicator is 7-man. We can see that there. Yep. Okay, a reach on Dragon 5-pin. Actually, how is the Green Dragon looking right now? Is it still live? Has no one drawn a Green Dragon other than?
No, I think it's in the wall, right?
Minase? Yeah, I think they're both in the wall.
Asakura is folding.
Yeah, with 2 reaches on the table, with 1 you can sort of justify sometimes pushing if your hand's sort of okay, but nothing too special.
Yeah, so maybe not having that White Dragon was actually a blessing for her because she doesn't have to make the decision about whether she's going to take a Tempai and.
That's fair.
Reach. Yeah. You got away with the Dora before. Can you get away with it now? You don't think you're going to try again? That's smart.
That's smart, yeah.
Are these green dragons?
Sometimes they're just buried in the dead wall. Sometimes that's just how it is. We'll say 3-6. So the other reach weight is mostly held, unfortunately. So this could just go to exhaustive draw.
Yeah, you would think that green dragon was quite a nice weight.
Unless no, not quite.
Wow. Wow. Oh, I feel really a lot of pain for you.
Yeah, 2 very good reaches and nothing paying off. But it does mean the next hand's going to be really exciting, right? With 2 Riichi sticks, 2 repeat counters. Going to be 2,600 points extra to whoever wins this one.
Look at that.
And
I'm
give
getting
them
half
close
fancy now. Oh, look, the red line like slowly moves across the screen. So
Oh, I didn't notice that.
yeah. So the overlay, like, so for some, not everyone here reads Japanese. So on the top left, the first little thing on the very top left, it says 7. That's the group that we're watching, and next to that, it's the hanchan we're on. So 1 is the first hanchan in this little set, and then below that with a big 3, that means we're on East 3, and then you can see the Riichi stick there, the 1,000 point stick with the 2. I mean, there's 2 of those on the table. The stick below it is the continuation. So there's 2 continuations on the table, and then the tile next to it, that's the Dora, not the Dora indicator. Do not make the mistake I make repeatedly, constantly.
Yes.
That's the Dora.
Also, to quote Nathaniel, we have a very real Daisangen. I've decided to start using that as my term for that. With 5 dragon start, 2 reds, 2 whites, and 1 green.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing it, aren't you?
Yeah, you gotta try. Whether you're probably gonna give up and cut at least one.
I mean, at least the 3 big dragons is a commonish one, right? But it really depends on what you draw.
Yeah, with 2 greens gone, it's over now. But
still get the small one though.
Yeah, you can get a little 2 dragons.
And you've got a flush in there.
2. Yeah, red white Yaku. So red white half flush is still absolutely fine. Gonna see this could be called.
Yeah. I mean, she's got that Dora. You kind of want to use that Dora, but there's no difference between a chord flush and 2 Dora, though, right?
Yeah. So it's why you often keep Dora until like row 2, because if you can pair it up, that's absolutely fine. But if you can't pair it up, as long as it's row 2 and not row 3, it's probably safe? Question mark.
I want to play on your table if you're going to start throwing Dora down like that.
I don't throw it on row 3. That's a no go.
You throw it at row 2, that's fine. You're going to throw points on my table.
If I throw it on row 2, it's because I'm tempai though. So that's basically a reach declaration for me. If I'm throwing a Dora row 2.
Fair enough.
So just keep that in mind. This is where now everyone knows how I play. You can counter my moves. Yeah. No. The curse of commentary.
I know, I did when I was streaming more regularly on my own channel, and then I'd see people at events and they'd be able to guess what I was going to do because they'd watch me, and I'm like, oh, God, am I that transparent? Am I that predictable?
Oh, people studying you, getting into your head. Oh, no.
No, I mean, I just learned that I'm not as clever as I like to think I am. So Asakura here is getting a little bit concerned.
I have to take potential Sanshoku from, I believe, Matsushima. No, not Matsushima. The dealer, then Suzuki.
Dealer.
Yeah, 2, 3, 4. Oh, yes, of course. The line moved, and I didn't notice.
Yeah, it's the red against the orange.
It is the red against the orange, yeah.
Yeah. And this 3 bamboo, the Dora adjacent throw there from Suzuki has been painful for her. Really painful. Why you don't really want to be throwing the tiles close to your Dora too soon. But
yeah, speaking of the Dora, and we were talking about Dora 2 versus half flush, Dora is the weight instead of the half flush here. Just needing that too, so.
I mean, you're really committed as well. You're not going to be able to fold out of this very easily.
That's fair, yeah. And this is part of the reason why, if you are a player like me, this is how you can take advantage of that kind of. Oh, it's only mid row 2. It's safe. And then suddenly, I feel very sad and very silly. But will any player here cut a 2? I'm not so sure.
I don't feel it's coming out of these people's hands.
No.
I think they're pretty, and yeah, I mean, I say that decides to come back down.
I feel like Ass is almost going for 7 pairs. Mostly folding, probably, but like with the potential gut shot of getting a 7 pair hand here.
What are you doing, Suzuki?
Oh, this is This is rough.
It's a bit risky
Also,
for
yeah,
this,
two
this
players
score
waiting on
now.
the door.
It's a nasty one to read as well. The potential ways you can take this. That's a lot of characters. There's a lot of manzu there.
Hmm.
I can see the pout lady. I can see. You're not
Yeah,
happy.
no, this is a tough decision to make.
Yeah.
The reach comes out
Decisive
though.
reach waiting on the door as well.
So this tournament uses Mondo TV Pro rules, and I'm asking this because I think that means that double run is on. Just in case anyone is foolish enough to cut the two, so it's not going to happen. No one is going to be this foolish, but if it does deal into two players at the same time, I'm sure I'll be corrected if I'm wrong. I do like double run. I am a big fan of double run. It's exciting.
Yeah. Double run sits in a little pool of my mind along with two-player Mahjong.
See, in my mind, like it's almost like a punishment for the player who'd played a really unsafe tile, right? Like, whereas head bump is like a punishment for players.
That's fine. Riddle me this then. Why is triple run a reset?
It's not in some rule sets.
And in most
EMA, for example, it's not.
I can't count up to 3 in Europe, that's why.
I also think isn't it just about like 3 being like a spooky number? No, it's 4 being a spooky number.
No, 4 is the spooky number.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just think they think that like, oh, well, triple run is just too much punishment, but double run is sufficient punishment. So if you're going to commit a crime, just commit it so badly. They're like, we'll do a do-over.
Yeah, as a defender of double run, I have to defend triple run too. Yeah, I have to stand by my values.
Yeah, but, yeah. If you're gonna say, well, you know, I want double run and triple run on, I can get behind that. I don't like it, but okay, it's rational.
To be fair, if you deal into 3 people at the same time, that is, you can't say that's not an error, right? You can't say, oh, that was an accident. I didn't mean to deal into all 3 players.
Maybe they did, so they could reset. They're basically being.
Maybe. The door was drawn. Not by the potential half-plush player, but instead
Suzuki.
By that pure double sequence. Yeah, very good hand. And with the reach, you know, sometimes you just got to commit to a bad weight because it does pay off sometimes. And I wouldn't call the Dora a bad weight. It's scary, but you know, Dora 2 is also pretty good.
It's a big hand.
Hmm.
So they've leveled up their score things. So we can see the scores go out and come in, and there's some little animation there.
We can also see that if this game were to end right now, we would have a team with 112 points. I do like that. I had that set up for some of the tournaments I've cast in the past, and I'm glad that kind of live score tally is starting to catch on. So I think it's neat just to see, oh, they won this hand, and because of the rank bonus, that means actually their score is this.
There's a lot of competition in Mahjong streaming at the moment, right? And it's only resulting in good things for the audience. Yeah, like lots of the pro groups are doing more streams, better streams, and everyone has to level up, right? You can't be left behind. I think, you know, when there's one dominating, I'm really arguing for the free market economy now, aren't I? Yes, the free market economy of Mahjong streaming has benefited us as an audience. Because we get much nicer overlays like this. So if you have any questions about the overlays and all of this.
Yep, if you have any questions, we are looking at chat.
At least
I'm certainly looking at chat.
Yeah, I've got the chat up as well. I've got 2 screens and everything. We've been told it's head bump, not double run on Mondo.
Okay. In that case, ignore what I just said.
We still had a discussion. So the difference, if you are new to Mahjong, so double run is where 2 players are allowed to call Mahjong or call run on the set on a discard, and head bump or tamahane is where only the person closest in turn order is allowed to declare the win. So basically, one person is denied their win, even though that was their winning tile.
Yeah, I always feel like it's a punishment for sitting in the wrong seat sometimes.
It is a divisive rule option in Mahjong.
Sorry, I'll stop with the spicy takes.
Yeah, no, I think it's. You know, I hear less conversation about it in Japan and a lot of conversation about it outside of Japan.
It might just be confirmation bias, right? Because no one remembers the time where they won a cheap hand and shut down someone else's hand and felt really good about it. But everyone always remembers the time they had like a dealer Hanuman and missed out on a huge win. Also, really quick reach here for potential pure sequence.
Oh, wow.
Also a potential, confirmed mystical
Sanchoku.
sequence. Yes.
Yep.
What an amazing hand. Potentially Riichi, Pinfu, Sanshoku, Dojin. And also all simples, yeah. Terrifying to get that this early.
Wow.
Yeah, genuinely. Let's do a bit of counting on 5-8. 1, 2, 3. I'll count the rest in my head.
Yeah, I'm looking for them too. I mean, you know what I feel about triple sequences, Sanshoku, it's clearly the best hand of all time.
My count is 6, meaning there are 2 tiles remaining. I think they are 8s though, so the pure sequence isn't likely to happen. I might have miscounted in that regard. We do have a potential pure straight here, but if they do go for it, they have to cut the 5 pin.
Riichi, Pinfu, Tanyao, Sanshoku. 5. Just need to hit the Ura or Tsumo, and you're at Hanuman.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of scared for the dealer though.
Yeah, that's not bad for a 5th turn Riichi. You know, 5th turn Riichi declarations tend to be cheaper hands. You don't tend to see Mangan, potentially Hanuman hands had early. So, but here we go. Asakura is.
No! As I said, I thought they were going to go for Itsu, and they called the 789 to try and get that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but they had to cut the 5.
She hit a door. She hit a door as well, didn't she? She hit the 7-man. Give me an overhead camera.
Was the door is not on the overlay. I'm trying to see it. We'll see when the score's transferred.
No.
Yeah.
Yes. Hanuman. Big hand for Matsushima.
Yeah, I don't blame the dealer for dealing in there though. Itsu is a rare Yaku, but if you have everything bar 1 tile, yeah, it's just pushing a 5 to a reach is scary.
As I was saying though, a 5th turn reach, you're not gonna think it's a Hanuman.
Exactly, yeah.
You're just not. You're gonna think, okay, well, I'm the dealer, and there's a lot of points, infinite points, as you like to say, potentially for me as dealer. Against a 5th turn Riichi from some,
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a gamble. Every time you play an unsafe tile, it's a gamble, but usually the odds are pretty good at that stage. So yeah. It's a bet I'd be like, okay, well, fear to make.
It's gonna be a 2-hand, 3-hand hand, maybe Mangan, but it's more likely to be a 2 or 3-hand hand at that point, right? I'm sorry, Asakura.
It's fine. It's still South 1. We have an entire round left. All the time in the world. And she is last dealer, so you never know. If she wins a few hands on the bounce in South 4, anything can happen.
Infinite points.
I do steal good phrases I hear from people around the internet space. You're original though. Speaking of Itsu though, once again with the awkward 1, 2, and 8, 9 shapes, you have to make a decision between Itsu and potentially maybe a 1, 2, 3 mixture sequence is also possible there. Choices.
It's done well for her. Minase has quite a lot to work with on these draws. That's quite a nice one. Asakura's not great. There's no value there.
Unless we draw some more triplets, which could always happen, right? You can get 3 triplets for something, but
we see the 3 7-pins are in Suzuki's hand, right? So that's gonna cause trouble for Matsushima. Also gonna cause trouble for anyone wanting to use that 8-pin, 8 of dots Dora. Because although they can't see it, we can see that there are almost a wall, a Kabe.
Yeah, it's always fun when you've got a triplet of the door indicator, right? Because it is a wall for the the door indicator is the fourth one, yeah. But it's
happens when
always
you
fun
can't
to
sit
have
at the
that sort of
table.
secret knowledge.
I know, I love a secret wall. I love it. That's why I don't can, because I secretly just love knowing
Ah,
something
okay.
you don't know. Yeah.
I know some
That's
players like to hold off on the card until they hit Tenpai. I know that that's
yeah.
probably not as efficient, but some
I
players do
think
like to.
I think it partly depends on where if it's like a value tile or an honor tile, fine. I'll just can it. It doesn't matter, right? Like, oh look, there's 4 green dragons. It's not going to having that knowledge isn't going to obstruct someone else's hand. But let's say that I've got 4 5s or 4 6s. Having that knowledge and them not having that knowledge is just too powerful.
Okay. Yeah, I think
They
that's
can
fair.
play through so much of the game and then suddenly realize, well, actually, that weight I needed is gone. It was never there for me. Yeah.
I mean that is yes, that's a really bad feeling. I'm not gonna lie, I've felt that before. But the
Yeah.
devil's advocate part though is of course you never know what that one extra draw could be. If that one extra draw is the thing that gets you to Tenpai and you don't make the card.
Hey, you're a gambler. See, I like having the knowledge. I like the bird in the hand is worth a rinsham.
Ah, I see. Okay. Ooh, this is actually really awkward. I think that Asakura has no real choice but to fold this hand, with some really middle tiles that have nothing around them. No real way of getting this hand to advance anywhere, and unfortunately, we know the 4-man and the 7-man both deal in. Asakura may be a bit of a cursed player here, but here's a second reach.
Minase throws the door of a reach, waiting on a 3. Oh no, I didn't see it. It was 1 3
it was
4, right?
1-4, 1-4.
Graph 3 as well, I think, right?
Okay, 1-3-4. I will check that.
Yeah, 1 3 4.
Yeah. Very good weight, but as we all know, just because you got a good weight doesn't necessarily mean you're going to draw it. Especially, well, no, I don't see Asakura ever pushing this hand. She has to fold. She has to fold, right?
Yeah.
No way you can push this. This is too bad. But what do you fold with?
Suzuki's hand that looks quite keen.
Oh, the
do you not
one.
think?
Not Ipatsu, I don't think. No, there was one
No.
draw. But
That was a draw.
and also, luckily, no Uradora were flipped. But Asakura's having a bit of a bad day today. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let's get some fun facts about Asakura.
Fun facts about poor Asakura.
She's a long-time veteran with a ton of titles. She's taken the crown of RMU. She's won the NPM's Women League 4 times, the Mahjong Union Ladies Open, 2018 Yukan Fuji Team Championship. She works with her husband, Masato Ishihara, from Mahjong Union at ML Stadium. And her favourite Yakuza Half Flash, so she's won loads of events. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean the tiles will favour you every Kanchan. But you never know, right? We're only in South 2. Plenty of time for anyone to make a comeback here. And Matsushima is the dealer. It was her birthday yesterday, so it's nice that she's in the lead right now. A little birthday present. She was born on Friday the 13th. I do kind of love.
Friday the 13th.
Like taking a thing that some people find scary and like making it a strength almost. Like, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. You scared of Friday the 13th? I was born then. Yes. Yeah, she just went to the salon and got a new look, and she works as a nurse. She always tells people this is her real name, so people don't think she copied Momo Matsushima. Oh, okay. Yeah. An M League commentator. She loves Kit Kats. Oh, okay. Fair enough.
You like her now, do you?
I've had a Kit Kat in a very, very long time.
I know, right? I don't ever eat them. I feel like I see more Kit Kats in Japan in like weird and grotesque flavors than I ever eat them in the UK.
Really interesting. Okay.
I mean, I don't tend to eat confectionery all that much anymore.
I haven't in a very long time.
They're well expensive as well. Every time I do go, I'm like, you're charging how much? like over a quid
Really?
for like a dairy
Oh,
milk bar. I'm not paying that.
oh, yikes.
You can
Anyway.
tell I'm old now.
But yeah,
In my age, it was 15 pence.
speaking of people being old, she learned Mahjong as a student at the beginning of the pandemic. So actually, the pandemic was a while ago now. It feels like it was just like yesterday sometimes.
Yeah, 2 years ago maybe. Yeah, I
But
mean,
yeah, all the student play places were closed, so Mahjong happened instead, and now
huh.
we're here at the Yukan Fuji Women's League. Awesome.
Yeah, it's quite unusual. I mean, most people in Japan, like they're introduced to mahjong, either as students or with their family, right? So when I took the test, I took the test alongside someone who'd been playing mahjong since she was like 6 or 7, something crazy like that, and she'd always played it with her family.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, I don't know how you compete with people like that personally, because obviously,
I think it's very interesting. So just going back to the Mahjong for a second, because I think it's very
yeah.
interesting that the White Dragon was played by
Mm.
Matsushima and wasn't called by Suzuki. I know that the one hand is not really worth many points, so just calling the White Dragons for a White Dragon only hand is probably not ideal. But
Push
with a hand like
Matsushima off your
this,
dealership.
it gets Matsushima off a dealership, and you're only 1,200 points behind, right? So
I put a
maybe
good
going
on it.
cheaper it's going to happen
Gonna
now.
call
The
that one?
last White Dragon. No.
She's gonna use it. She's gonna use it as a pair or to fold, I guess.
See, I think that's really interesting. When the score's this close, sometimes I feel pressure to try and I'll go cheaper just to get above you. I want to be above you specifically, because the position is more important than the value of the hand sometimes.
But maybe she's thinking about the overall position, right?
Okay.
Because her team is at plus 81 at the moment, right?
That's fair, yeah.
She doesn't need to lose points into Matsushima here.
It is also a risk if you be aggressive, yeah, you can always have things backfire. We also have a chance to Khan here. We were talking about
here's
Khans
the
earlier.
the 9-pin Khan. I'm more like to Khan again. Terminals doesn't give so much information. She's not going to do it though. She worried about this east wind. What's going on here?
I guess you don't have enough faith in your hands. And I guess, yeah. Also, now the 9-pin's safe, maybe it is going to be just a situation we see 9-pin, 9-pin, 9-pin if folding is the right decision. I don't know. I would be more aggressive, but then I'm that kind of player.
Asakura's in a painful spot here, 2 Dora and really needing points.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And I'm not enjoying Minase's life like that. Those are the kind of hands which just mess me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I was Suzuki, I agree with you. I would have wanted to win it now.
Either way, though, still could get back into Tenpai. Just going to be a little bit tricky. But yeah, now we're getting to row 3. I'd be more willing to call anything, even just to get a Tenpai bonus. But then maybe I'm a fighter. I don't know. But 1,500 points, assuming 2 players Tenpai, is enough to overtake Matsushima. So
she's worried about this east wind, right?
Yeah,
I can see any have been thrown out.
That's fair.
But I also can't see any anyone's hands.
It is always interesting, though, right? When you just draw one. Actually, there's one's been thrown, I believe. Yeah, it was the very first discard from Suzuki. But it was from her, so yeah, it does go now.
Tenpai. 3-6 bamboo wait.
I feel like maybe at this point you can read that a lot of players are like where you want away, but not quite ready. So now's the time to throw a stick in.
But I mean, Matsushima's the dealer. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not sure what else you can do, right? You're going to hope that everyone's going to fold around you, and that is exactly what's happening, I think, here.
Yeah. Honestly, especially when the score's this close, being able to put pressure on, even if it's just as, hey, I'm in Tenpai, guys. Watch out. Yeah, it is going to make the other players fold.
Yeah, and, Suzuki's going to be really pleased she's got those white dragons now.
That's fair.
She doesn't have to throw anything dangerous.
See, my argument is, what if you won first? You wouldn't be in this situation.
Yeah, you're so full of hope.
I know.
So full of hope.
It gets crushed whenever I actually play, but
Oh,
Oh.
Dora.
Dora.
It's a good read. I mean, he got to
yeah,
throw those white
yes.
dragons. She got
Yeah,
away with the
at this
5
point,
pin.
we're folding, right?
Well,
Probably.
no, she get rid of the 5 and the 6 pin. Yeah,
Yeah.
so she can. You'd be tempted to call to get into tempo now.
I would be very tempted, yeah.
I know you would be. So one would be tempted. You.
I always
you
try
would
and...
be.
You told you didn't spend 350? What? That's crazy.
Don't go outside, mate. It's really expensive outside.
Ah.
Stay in with us and like and subscribe on our channel because that is free. You will have to watch some annoying adverts from YouTube. I can't stop that, but generally it's free.
Yeah, speaking of calling for tempo, though, Asakura does sneak in. The weight, I think, is 3 pin. It's not going to win, but it is tempai, which is going to pay off.
She's got all of those weights as well. So it just does and if you're slightly nearer to Mahjong and you see that they're hesitating before they show whether they're tempai or not. Typically, you should show tempai starting from the dealer in turn order. So I know overseas often everyone just like throws their hand down and big sigh of relief. Got to the end of that. That was really stressful. But typically you should go from the dealer first and everyone in turn. So that's why there's a hesitancy. They're not waiting to see if someone's tempai. They're doing the right thing.
Yes, that makes sense. I will have to learn this all this one day, I'm sure.
Have you ever
Maybe
played
soon
in real life? Have you only played online?
I have played in real life, but not with anyone who really knew what was going on, if that makes any sense.
Well, I mean, Define knows what's going on.
Like, I was basically, I was the one teaching. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, right. Yeah.
So anything I got wrong is they didn't know. They couldn't correct me.
I mean, teaching is a vital part of our community, so do not knock that. It's we can't always be playing the top games. We have to teach people as well, otherwise we won't have anyone to beat.
But yeah. By the way, though, with that exhaustive draw, we are still in East South 2, so everyone's still got time. Asakura is catching up, right? I know. I like to say I do tend to be very aggressive. I also tend to fold. Usually for me, it's with the second I feel something's wrong, I will probably just fully fold. I tend to hard commit, either fully attacking or fully folding.
I was about to say, you're like an aggressive pusher and an aggressive folder because I have seen you do some very aggressive folding.
Oh no.
Okay, committed is the right I think committed is the right observation there.
I'd honestly be half tempted to I need to do that sometime. I need to post some of my actual replays and have people just pick it apart. Just be completely brutal because I know I make mistakes, but it's nice to sometimes just get a reality check because you feel like you're doing the right thing and then someone else has a completely different take to you. It's always good.
It's having that discussion though is what makes things interesting, right?
Yeah, it's talking about like the logic behind things because I'm very easily convincible that I'm doing the wrong thing, especially when it's someone whose opinion I respect. But yeah.
I wouldn't respect my opinion, guys.
Don't say that.
Look, if I wouldn't be sad at 301 with you. It was at 215 and Ruddle. You should all listen to Chiral and not my opinion. Chiral's better.
I think in that case, how did Corak do actually? Let me check. I no. We'll check after the game. We'll check after the game.
We'll rank the commentators on who you should listen to, and you just tune out the other one.
I think we'll be seeing Corak later on tonight, so definitely stay tuned for that, for them to show up. That's just curious. Corak got 65th place with 287.8 points.
There's always a try hard.
I honestly, Corak is very, very good at Mahjong.
Corak is an amazing Mahjong player, so yeah.
It is a shame that I've usually gone to bed sleep before the time before they actually start they end tying in. But yes, definitely stay tuned.
Awake, if you're awake, please do watch Corak. He is an amazing player. Lots of great insights. Doesn't derail the conversation as much as we do. So,
to be fair, apart from the random confectionery talk, we stayed on topic, vaguely Mahjong related at least for the entire stream.
Yeah.
But we do have a reach on 4-man only. It does have a Dora, and it is a nice early tempi. As you were saying, a lot of early reaches tend to be on worse weights.
Yes, they do. And that's why I don't think people should fear early reaches, personally.
I sometimes fear them.
I wouldn't fear them too much. I mean, when was this reach? I can't quite see on the table.
It was 2 draws ago.
Okay, so it's not actually that early. That's quite a...
Yeah, I think it was the first discovery.
It's on the early of mid-range of, yeah, so I'd be a little bit fearful of this. Oh, well, we're going to get another reach from Asakura. Doesn't have the luxury, maybe, of being too scared of a...
That's, yeah.
Of an 8th turn reachy, right?
We've seen, I think, 2 situations here where both multiplayers have been in reachy. But we'll see. We'll see if either of them win this time.
I mean, Asakura needs to make up some points here.
Speaking of people who need to match now, I guess I was going to start trying to talk about Minase and see if they could find a way of catching up here. But they're doing okay. Honestly, it's definitely not over for them. They can make a the dealer manages to win on that 4-man weight.
Wow.
And I believe that's an Ura flip, isn't it? No, the 4-man was the Dora. The Ura Dora indicator was 6-man. I mixed the Dora and the Ura Dora mixed together. But still, reached Dora, 7,200 points. Sorry, 4,200 points plus the pot from the last hand.
Yeah, and Suzuki is definitely wishing she'd put a little bit more effort into shutting down this dealership when she had those white dragons on her hand.
See, this is why I'm so aggressive, because I have experiences in events where I've been ahead and I've let players catch up to me. I talked about one of those, I believe, from the Janko League, the last time we streamed this, because I panic. I tend to get... This is where I make unforced errors, and I will admit that. But whenever I see, I can't let them be dealer, I can't let them keep winning, I start getting more aggressive than I probably need to be. That's something I need to work on, I think. But
it's a real difficult balance, though, right? And it's very contextual. It depends on the people you're playing, and sometimes, the way that we're playing, you may not have a good handle on how that person plays, because
that's fair.
Yeah, it's not a league, so you haven't had an opportunity to watch them, especially if you're in a tournament style online, right? Or even worse, you're playing the ladder on whichever portal you're playing on.
True. Let's see if Suzuki has a decent hand so far. It's not over for them. They can still sneak first place back. As you're saying, though, they probably don't necessarily need to. They're still getting a nice small positive from this game. This is actually Suzuki's first time on a broadcast table.
Oh, really? Oh.
First time playing in Yukan Fuji, and also just first time on a broadcast table. Works at ML Studio full time, so it feels a little bit weird playing against the ML Stadium team. Oh, sorry, that's the ML Stadium. Honestly, that's fair. Because these are probably work colleagues and people you know. Oh no, they're your enemies. She wants to work in the martial parlor in college, but never did. But
and the old people take care service team. They're at the bottom of this group, right?
I believe so. Yes, yeah.
Well, they started off bottom of the group, so she doesn't need to push too hard into them, really. Having the second place is not a bad outcome for
That's definitely true, yeah. They started at the bottom, but if the game ends as it is, they will actually manage to sneak into third by 2.8 points. Yeah, I made the mistake of seeing the triangle and not remembering that's a negative in the outcome here.
It's a delta, but yes.
Yes, the delta, yes, yeah. It's at the triangle. But yeah, so anyone who's unfamiliar, that does mean like a minus 76.5 points. So just because the 76.5 is bigger than 68.
A solid triangle doesn't necessarily indicate the Greek letter delta to most normal people.
Usually it's hollow, yeah. Anyway, has a physics degree. I should really know that, though. I should really have noticed that.
I was about to say, like, some sciencey people seem to know already, and others, I don't know. They do it on on like the ticker tapes and stuff of the stock market as well. You see the instead of a minus. And also I find it very useful if you're doing handwritten scores. It's really
Okay.
easy to have a minus and then just stick a plus over it, right? Just stick another line because you're writing quickly, you're not paying attention. Whereas actually having to
Ah,
draw the triangle, I
yeah,
think,
I guess that makes it clearer, yeah. Especially if you've got really
yeah,
bad handwriting.
exactly. I think it just, makes it clearer that this is a negative. I'm very positive for a negative delta.
Yeah. Also, I'd like to point out Suzuki's Riichi is a 3-sided weight right now.
Mm.
And is there a chance of... No, I don't think there's a chance of a 6 of an 8 sound shocking. But it doesn't matter because the other hand is shut down. Oh, with
Asakura.
door 2. Is that door
She
3? Did the 3 so come out? I
had
don't
to
think
say,
so.
did she hit?
Oof. Finally, the Matsushima can bleed. Asakura has a chance, maybe, to start pulling it back. Honestly, though, it always feels hard. Like, it always feels tough when you are behind by such a massive amount to try and make it back. I I always get kind of stressed in situations where I'm this far behind and still have to sort of focus and just try and make something happen. But Asakura has made the first step there.
And Minase has four bamboos in her hand, and she's not going to declare can straight
Mm.
away, at least, because I bet you she's like me and she's drunk from the power of that knowledge. Look at that! Look at that! Come on.
The other benefit for that, though, is of course you've got the Tuso. You
Yeah.
don't want to give up on the potential 2-3-4 4-4-4 shape if you did draw 3 So I would be keeping it at least until I know I'm not going to ever use that Tuso, or I've paired it up already, or something like that.
Mm.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, it'd be the last thing I'd break up or like call a can on. I'd really, not to the bitter end would I show people I had that.
That's fair. But yeah, Minase has a sister also in the Yukan Fuji Women's League, Chihiro, on the Aoke. I'm going to pronounce that horribly, I'm sorry. But also a member of NPM. It's a sister that got her to work at a Mahjong parlor, and they share a YouTube channel.
Oh.
So far, she's played 3 games, got a first, a third, and a fourth. So maybe Minase is looking for a second. I don't know. I like seeing a 1, 2, 3, 4 sometimes. It just makes me feel. I just like the numbers lining up. I don't know. She is a champion as well. Won the 11th Yukan Fuji Individual Championship. Played in Mondo Cup twice, the Elite Invitational. Loves board games, darts, and travel, and is an Itsu fan. Actually,
Now she's got to decide whether she's going to can or not. Because that 8 bamboo is a Dora. She's going to can. Yeah, I think that's right here. Otherwise,
I
you're
think
just
because you're
slowing
gonna,
yourself
yeah,
down.
I think now's the time. Yeah, exactly. It's only back 5 you draw the 3 so, and we didn't, so it's fine. 2 so goes.
Yeah.
The new Dora is the 4-man, which is going to make Asakura very happy.
Yeah, but she's kind of going for that straight, isn't she? Oh, nice draw there from Suzuki. White dragons are favoring her today.
Yeah, I do think it. I don't know if I would commit to a straight. Or
I wouldn't now that I've seen 4 of them are canned.
I think at this point I just cut 1, 2 so. Yeah, well, yeah, that too, of course. Of course. Very good point. Very good point.
You see, that's the power of those of having that can hidden. I mean, she's revealed it, so now Asakura can do a U-turn and find something else to do with her hand. Whereas if it hadn't been revealed, she wouldn't have known to do that. She could have called the 3 man. I keep saying man. The 3 bamboo.
Oh, that's true. I
Completely.
hadn't considered calling, but from this point, I would just have. I would have cut 1, 2 so even
Asakura
if
is
I.
10 point, and she's going to reach. Wait, another 4 pin with 7.
Which I think is
And
absolutely fine. Dora
Oh.
is in the hand, so we've got a reach battle.
Another
2
reach.
players in reach.
3 pin, 6 pin here from Suzuki. So she's hoping to get back up into first with that hand.
Yeah, anything will do at this point with the two Riichi sticks on the table. Oh, another player's three Riichis.
Three Dora.
Oh, the weight is not as good. The weight is not as good. But
The weight
as you
is
say,
not as
if
good.
they flip it or draw it, especially with the two Ura flips.
Oh, it's Matsushima. I'm so Matsushima's now really happy that it's not double run, not triple run, and it's just head bump. She's like,
True.
yes.
That's reasonable.
So remember those times. It's not always bad feelings with head bump on. Yeah.
I still wouldn't want to deal with
south.
any of them, but I get that. I get that.
Oh, I could feel her sorrow on that one. I could see her do a double take. It's not
I
yours.
think we see
not
three
yours.
of the sevens. One being the door indicator, two being in
Yes.
Asakura's hand. So,
Yeah.
oh no, we see all four of the sevens. Oh, that's really sad.
Oh.
One was discarded by
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Matsushima. So this very Dora packed hand is just not going to win.
No. That is sad for Asakura.
It is the curse of being a commentator. Sometimes you can see where the tiles are, and it's just not. It's not
You
meant
can
to be.
literally see their destinies, even
Yeah.
though. Yeah.
So the real question is, yeah, what are we going to do if you're the fourth
We
player
are
who hasn't
in East.
reached?
Sorry, we are in South 3, so that we're not at Orlas, we're not at the final hand yet. But I feel like this is the hand that's going to make or break.
That's fair, yeah.
So, yeah, as we said, Minase is out. Oh, sorry, Asakura is still in the 4-pin, 7-pin weight, and the 3-pin, 6-pin weight for Suzuki. And Matsushima is just dancing around all these people.
I think it's reasonably easy to tell that. Oh, there's a 6-pin. But I was about to say, it's reasonably easy to tell that the pins are dangerous just based on how few have been played by everyone. If you actually look at the discard pools, it's mostly Sozu and Manzu. So you can sort of get a feel that there's going to be a lot of pins in people's hands. Obviously, if you're in Riichi, you don't have a choice about what you discard, unfortunately for her. But at least for
hits 8 Ura as well.
Yeah, at least for Matsushima, she should have had like a vague awareness that maybe let's not cut Pinzu. But yes. Oh, what an exciting battle though. 3 players reach. Only one of them had winning tiles, but sorry, one of them didn't have any winning tiles, the other two definitely did. But yes.
I mean, so we're now in Orlas, we're now in South 4. But I mean, it's really a battle between Matsushima and Suzuki here, unless Asakura can just keep riding
this
dealership
start
hard.
Not a huge amount of value, but it looks very fast, although that might not be just her hand, it might be everyone else's too. Definitely Asakura's hand seems the strongest of the 3 I've seen so far.
I mean, Matsushima, even though she hasn't moved much in just the points on this table, it's made a significant impact on her team's overall score, right?
Yeah,
she's now at 63.6, and now they're at the bottom.
Yeah, that first place bonus, because of the Oka, they call it, right? The 5,000 points from each player that goes to the winner at the end of the game.
Exactly.
It does mean first place is worth so many more points. So yeah, we're seeing that right here, right? Just losing one position. Yeah, it's rough. Do you like the format with a first place rank bonus?
No,
I know you. No? Oh. I think it makes for really exciting watching. It is stressful though, because you have to be really aggressive.
Yeah. But as an audience, it's great. I think, if you want to say, does it make for the best Mahjong? Maybe not. Does it?
I definitely prefer a first place bonus to a last place penalty. That I do prefer.
I will agree on that one. But I think, it's one of these other interesting dynamics now in the Mahjong community is that they're not just choosing rules for the players or to obtain the best skilled game. They're choosing it for what's the best to watch. So there's definitely I've heard mutterings about, it's all about the audience now. It's become a spectator game more than a player's game.
Hopefully it can be both, but yeah, I do see what you mean.
Yeah.
It's unnecessary edge. Ooh.
Oh,
Ooh.
critic the usual. Nah, doesn't like it. Nah, not for that.
But yeah, I don't know. I do like playing it, but yeah, I do see how it definitely changes how you play. You have to play around the rule set.
Yeah, I
And
mean, if you're a very skilled player, you should be able to manage it.
mm,
But yeah, it's just interesting how there's this power now in the audience to get things the way they'd like to see. I don't think there was that kind of power dynamic before. But
speaking
certainly, you
speaking
know,
of, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any suggestions, please let us know.
yeah, yes.
But
You
seriously though,
are
yeah,
the
if you
one
do have
with
any
power
suggestions, please let
here.
us know.
Yes, please. You have the power. We don't just talk to each other for our health. We try to do it for you guys.
Yeah. I was going to say, Asakura, I thought her hand was the best to start off with, but it does look like that has now changed dramatically. I think Matsushima has the advantage here.
Yeah.
It's got some very good draws while we were chatting.
She's just not. I mean, she's one away from a straight, which is great. But straights are difficult to get, and they're not worth all that much.
I like seeing it as as a luck based Yaku sometimes. I know that's probably a spicy take, but it's something you let happen but don't make happen.
Yeah, it's
But
difficult
then
to force it. You could call this one. You could call that one. She
could
is
call it,
dealer.
yeah.
I would
Yes.
call the 9-man probably if it came out.
Keeping the dealership is very, very important here. Yeah.
Matsushima has these doors in here as well.
Oh, the first person to turn Senpai is actually going to be Minase. The legendary Golden Ishanten. Ah. But yes, no, actually, what finding does Minase have? Let's have a quick little look. I just see two-hand reach dragon. There's nothing else hidden there.
Oh,
Just wondering.
You know,
Maybe it's a gamble on Ura flips. Do we see the last white dragon? It has been played, so there isn't going to be no Carnval and Riichi.
You know, locking in a third place with the group
Yeah, I mean, it
totals
definitely.
is not terrible, right?
When the person whose last dealer is in fourth, to stop that from becoming a problem, that's the thing that's totally reasonable. Ooh.
There we go.
Okay, the reach comes out. 369 is the weight. This could be a very, very nice win for Asakura.
Tenpai? Reach.
3 players Tenpai, 3 players reach.
Again?
It's happened twice now.
Matsushima reaches. She's got 2 Dora there. I can't remember her weight. I have to come back round.
Oh.
Yeah, poor Suzuki. Oh,
no way to win, but the 9 comes out.
Oh no, it's not Ipats. Is it Ipats?
It is
Ipats, right?
I believe it is, yes. The weight was 6'9", matching 2 of the dealer's weights, but they go to Matsushima, which gives her the win. A massive plus 56.9 points.
I mean, it's not terrible for Suzuki, but it's a big deal for Matsushima's team.
Yeah, it brings her team to 2nd place. So that is huge. Also, I just saw we have individual player scores. I didn't notice that. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's new in Jen's amazing 19th place with a minus 25.4 going into that match. That's certainly changed with a massive win like that. Well done. And well done, everybody. That was a really fun match to watch. There were 2 moments with 3 players in Riichi.
Yeah, there was a lot of Riichi. I think in other games I've commentated, I've had this feeling that they've kind of shied away from Riichi, but they were throwing sticks in at every opportunity, no?
Yeah.
I don't think they did not see that much Dama kind of thing.
Yeah, we don't call it Dama Mahjong, do we? I'm sorry. I do like
the Dama Queen.
You are the Dama Queen. Know. That's fair. That's fair.
I'm always looking out for it.
You are the team coach of the WRC team.
I am the team coach of the WRC team, and yeah.
Are you giving Dama advice to your teammates?
As I've already said, I'm more like an executive coach.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's quite difficult to be a team coach from so much distance. I will say again, Jen is definitely doing the hard work in that respect.
Yeah, thank you, Jen, for everything you do
Thank
for
you,
the streams. I see you in chat. I'm waving. Hello. Yeah. Ah. But yeah, it was
Quick
an amazing
reminder
match,
to
right? 'Cause
like
there were
and
lots of
subscribe.
interesting situations where I think, honestly, there was some maybe moments where I would have been a bit more aggressive from the first dealer, Suzuki, who maybe could have tried to interact and shut down Matsushima with some of the hands. Not all, of course, and certainly not that last hand.
Yeah, I think you're right. She had an option with that double white dragon pair that she chose not to call, even on the second opportunity. I think, I mean, again, it's difficult to look back in retrospect because you don't know how that would change the draws, you don't know how that changed other people's behaviors. But my gut feeling, she should have called it.
Another thing I do like about Matsushima's play is that she's not afraid to reach a bad weight as well. Like there was definitely the one time she was waiting on, I think 3-5 man, and you would think that sometimes you're too afraid. You're like, oh, I need to wait for an upgrade. No, just insta Riichi that, send it out, and the 4-man did eventually come. It was 7,700 points, I think. So huge win.
Calling Reach on bad weights, it's more difficult for people to read as well. Remember.
That's definitely true. Yeah, if everyone just relies on Suji saying that, let's say you've got a 6, that they don't have 7-8, otherwise they'd be in 3-10. So the 9 is safe. If people rely on that too much, you can catch them out by waiting on like a 3-5 shape instead of a 5-6.
Yeah, don't over rely on your two-sided weights. I definitely did that at the start of my Mahjong career. I was always like, I've got to have a good weight. I've got to wait it out for it. And that's partly why I got a bad reputation for being on Dama, because I was usually trying to improve my weight somehow. Don't do that. That's not the road to victory, is what I learned after many years.
Yeah, a lot of books will talk about I think like just insta Riichi more is the term that was coined in English, I think. But yes. I know that I think the rule I try and use is when I've got 3 hand or more of an upgrade. If one tile gives me 3 hand, I'll wait for it because 3 hand is huge.
Oh yeah, 3 hand.
Sometimes 2 hand. But if it's just like Pinfu, nah, just send it to the stick. That's my opinion.
You won't do a Pinfu only or a Reach only. You'll wait, will you?
I do a Reach. I do a Reach Dora if I had like a bad weight. Yeah, I think that's fine.
I think it also depends where your weight is as well, right? If you've got a 7-8 and you're weighing on a 6-9, a 9 is a great weight. A terminal is a great weight.
Yeah, that's fair.
More likely to do it then.
Yeah, I've noticed you in your gameplay. You tend to like your pair weights around like 1 and 9. Sometimes I've noticed that.
Well, people, I don't know. I don't know whether it's a bias because people tend to gift them to me when I'm playing in Europe. But they definitely have that mentality of honors are safe. Oh, what's the next safest thing? Terminals. Yeah.
It is like a beginner sort of misstep sometimes. It's a terminal. It must be safe. And it is on average safer, but 100% is not 100%. But yeah, I know what I meant.
Hi, Spectria.
Hello.
Apparently,
sorry. I can move close to the microphone. Oh no, is that quiet? Oh no.
So maybe I'm too loud.
I'll move closer. But yeah,
Volume
I will be
relative.
heading out for this game because the next game will be joined by the one and only Jeremy, otherwise known as Tipzntrix.
Hello. Chiral moved into the mic instead of moving away from the mic. I think he's got a little bit of directional challenge in there.
Wait, what? I'm getting closer. I'm nice and close to the mic now. Maybe I'm too close.
That's very nice.
No. Oh no.
It's like the creepy hello I managed at the beginning. Hello.
Can I call security?
No.
Tech guy cut his mic. Tech cut him.
I'm being dragged away. Help! No.
Well, of course they had a fun time. We let the British take over the stream. Wow.
Yes.
We had some great commentary. Yo, he's still here. Security, come on. But
if you want, but
that's right. I have come to commentate game 2. So that first game was pretty exciting with a multiple 3-way Riichis. Multiple.
There was a lot to talk about, that's true.
The very, very sad Dora 3 Reach that had no tiles.
Yeah, Asakura kind of got the short end of the stick on a lot of them. But, you know, as you said, she's a veteran. She's won titles, and so she knows you can't win them all. Just hopefully win a few more, right? Win more than everybody else.
Be nice to win them all, though, wouldn't it? It really would.
Yeah, I mean,
I heard you've been busy the last few weeks.
I've been doing a lot of commentary, so less so winning. I've participated in a couple tournaments. I was participating in the Extra Life charity tournament, as well as a Rochester ARA qualifier. And that it wasn't a guaranteed WRC seat, but it was part of the ARA's criteria for determining who gets their allotted seat. But I didn't do too well on either of those, so I kind of just washed out. So yeah, I also need to win more and lose less, right? Play better, win more. That's a motto.
Are you managed to make it to the ARA Invitational that they're holding? Or
no, I am a Canadian, so I mean, I think even other people outside of the country can still make it. I'm not 100% sure, but either way, I'm not attending the
national. I don't know.
Invitational.
I always forget that Rochester is so close to the Canadian border.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Much closer than New York City, at least by car. By flight, they're actually pretty similar. If you just
New York's pretty close still. Yeah.
Yeah, if you calculate the geographical line distance, point A to point B, it's pretty close. But in terms of actual transportation, it's a lot further.
What I'm hearing is they should just take the border away and they should just make it like an East Coast region, right?
Yeah.
Canadian cities included. That'd not be easy.
There used to be more ferries, but the border got a lot more strict.
Oh
really?
Regardless, thank you, Chiral, for a game 1. We do have.
Thank you.
Game 2.
Thank you for inviting me. It was fun.
Yes, we do have game 2 coming in with the same teams. So just as every week, we have the same teams playing 3 games. Some teams do swap their players so that everyone gets a little blush, a little shine on the TV screen. Other teams use the same player because, after all, it can take a long time to travel from your home or wherever you're staying to the location. Especially for the Orb League. We mentioned it earlier, but the Orb League is full of essentially all of Western Japan. Sometimes it's called the Osaka League, but they got a lot of players from all kinds of places in Western Japan, and it's a lot more spread out. But this is still the Scepter League. Regardless, Tokyo is a lot bigger than you might give it credit for.
It's huge.
Yeah, especially people living further in the suburbs or even outside the city borders. So as we see, Momoka is reprising her role on Mahjong Welchao, the day service. Sorry, Welchao, not Welchao. I wonder if it's actually run by the same. I won't say anything.
Yeah, I know. I was having that. Is it Wel-chao or yeah?
Yes. And so we will have Momoka Matsushima as our first dealer. In the south seat, there in the top right for Mahjong Cafe, we've got Ichika Natsume. So looks like she's ready for battle. In the west seat, there in the bottom right, Azumi Sugiyama. Her photo is very much colored in the same way as the Matsukaze logo, so that is really good. That's really good color coordination there.
Like that. She looks like an actress now. She looks like she's playing like a really serious part in like a cop drama. Or something.
But she's matching her team, so that gives her a little extra power. And then in the top left, we've got Risa Harikae from the M League Stadium, posing for the camera.
She's gone
right
for a
there.
much more candid shot there, right? That looks like she's standing on a platform somewhere.
Yeah, she's right. I mean, a lot of the guest pros, when you go to parlors, have shots that look like that, right? So M League Stadium, you know, she's got the part down. She knows how to act like a pro. She's playing for M League Stadium, only the biggest league in Japan right now, I would say. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna fight you on that one.
And once again,
don't worry, 'cause the WRC Tokyo event will be the biggest Mahjong event
ooh,
of all time.
Of all time.
Sorry, M League, you know, but
I'm
Obviously,
awaiting
gonna
with
be
bated
something
breath.
extra special.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Now that we have set expectations, remember to give us a thumbs up underneath the video right there and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We've got 3 broadcasts coming up. This is the first one this month. We have 2 more in the next 2 weeks. Same time, same place on the World Riichi Championship channel. Now, let's begin the operation.
Do you know what we do need? We need Mahjong passports, like diplomatic passports. It's really easy.
What
For
would those do
people
for us?
in Mahjong to move around. Like, there's a special channel for us and everything. Don't have to wait in the line with the plebs, the non-Mahjong players, the muggles.
Mahjong is a magical art now. Sometimes it does feel like that, especially if you watch
I was about
anime.
to say, like, yeah, it does feel like it. I guess. Yes, if you've watched anime, you probably joined us thinking that somehow we have magic powers. We don't have magic powers.
Yeah, in this case,
And
we
there
just
are-
have the magic power to see all the hands. Not even at once,
there's
but like,
there's significantly more cynicism as well
right.
than the animes would have you believe.
And Matsushima here, hopefully not too cynical, coming off of her first win, playing the second game, sneak peek. Maybe a little teaser, but we might have a few words from Matsushima here. She will be playing all 3 of our games today, so we'll see just how
Oh.
she does.
Gosh, I wouldn't want to be on the camera for all 3 games. Ooh.
But it looks like Risa here, Harikae, with the best hand to start. There is a 5 Mandora here, and maybe that is not in Harikae's advantage, but she does seem to have the fastest hand. Oh, Sugiyama with a good draw there. See, Harikae, really good, really. I think that's 1 away now. She's going for the mixed triple sequence, 789, so might take a little bit of a slower route. Slightly less efficient, but a lot more points if she can get it closed. It's very interesting. A lot of times you take that route and then you have the chance to make it open by calling, and all of a sudden it's faster, but it's not worth as much. Oh, does not get it here. Oh, interesting. The Karagiri, the discarding the same tile from inside the hand. I wonder what the purpose of it was here.
How do you translate karigiri?
It's an empty discard, right? But
I don't know, because Dave always likes to say sloppy
the
doppy,
swappy doppy.
The swappy doppy. I don't know. I've said it so many times I can't even remember what he's saying anymore.
Swappy doppy. I
Swappy-doppy.
just go with the literal, the empty discard.
Yeah.
Because it's discarding in a way that you didn't have to do it. Like, you could have discarded the tile you discarded. It didn't make any change. It's
But you
empty.
see, I think translating as empty discard kind of devalues it, right? Because anytime you discard a tile out of your hand, you are actually telegraphing information more so than if you just draw an instant discard.
Right.
So I noticed, like, some people will just do the empty discard as a habit.
Yeah.
They'll just do it because they can. But I always caution, well, actually, if you don't know what you're doing, you probably shouldn't do it, because you are telegraphing information.
That's a good rule of thumb. If you don't have a reason to do it, don't do it. So that's why I'm actually interested. If only Jen could interview them live, you know, could get her to ask.
Pause the game, like pause it. Into, you see, that would be the
okay, maybe not
awesome
that
anime
live.
Power you need.
No,
that's my Mahjong anime. Is where we can just pause the table and be like, so why did you do that then? Yeah, you ask them an hour later, they're like, oh,
I mean, Jen has actually run a few study sessions with professionals, some even in M League, where we were able to ask some questions like that, and those were really nice. Not necessarily exactly during the game, but immediately after in like a review.
Exactly, as close as you're going to get. And then, because you've got the playthrough, the replay up, right? You can go to that point in time.
Right.
So Jen has got the closest you can get to that magical power. So she's in the chat. You can see her with the long channel, the hiragana name Jen channel, and the cute little logo of her. Go and like and subscribe on her channel as well.
Yeah, and don't miss Sugiyama's reach here. 2 turns ago, it is Riichi with 1 Dora. She is looking for 6 or 9, so not that big so far. And I think Harikae might follow up Chase Riichi if she can just get her mixed triple in the 789. But as an inside weight, it's hard to find.
So what's interesting on this new overlay is that you can see that Riichi stick has put Sugiyama technically in 4.
Yes.
So then suddenly that huge, negative from being in 4th is applied to the total
Yes.
of the team.
Yes, and you can see, as expected, Harikae does fight the Riichi with her own Riichi. She is on the bad weight of the 8 bamboo. If you look on the table there are a number of 8 bamboo in the discard. You can see that Sugiyama is holding on to an 8 bamboo after Natsume makes her discard here. Yep, there's one of them as well. There it is in the discard. I believe there's still 2 more to go, though. So, one more. Unlucky. Unlucky. Matsushima draws it, and so that's going to ruin her hand, but also kind of ruin Harikae's hand. She has one more chance. Natsume with Sugiyama's winning tile here. Will she go for it, or will she fold? Many thoughts. Decides to fold for now. So, nobody giving into temptation, except perhaps Harikae, but she didn't deal in. And the last tile for Harikae, Natsume draws it. It's looking kind of tough. I wonder if we will see any of those 8-so ever come out.
No.
Or even the 6-so. Yeah, Natsume has put the 6-so and the 8-so together, so they have an even less chance of coming out because they're kind of useful. A third 6-so?
The Spectria comments that, she's always thought of Karagiri to be more like insincere than empty. Not sure. I mean, God.
Yeah, like sleight of hand discard, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know if insincere, like smoke, maybe. I don't know, like translate it as nihilistic discard. I don't know. Maybe that would work better. Just pure nihilism on that discard. But I think putting it into English and choosing words that have that kind of emotional attachment as a native English speaker can sometimes lead people the wrong way.
Yeah, I just translate. I never really thought about it. That's all. I just called it what it was.
I think sometimes you use the term so much it doesn't have that feeling anymore. But certainly, when people who are new or are moving up into intermediate, it's kind of good to explore your understanding of those concepts and why you may have built habits in. Because
I do like false swap or fake swap.
Yeah,
they'll fake out. And it does have a lot of effect, especially on the higher level players.
Yeah, I said if you want to telegraph some information, then you should definitely do it. Just know what you're doing. Sometimes it's a little bit like can, right?
Yeah.
Sure, you can do it, but should you do it? And if I was to say, what's going to end up in a better situation, you're probably better erring on the side of caution and not canning until you have a confident direction.
The more I read the higher level books, the more a lot of their discard reading techniques break down if somebody does the karagiri, the false swap on the hand. And so in some of the books they will mention like, oh, maybe they did a karagiri here, and so beware of that, right? And a lot of that, playing in person, it's similar to poker in that you kind of have to read the player, and I feel like not all the Mahjong players have the composure that a lot of the professional poker players do. I mean, they all look fairly composed, but even at the professional level in Japan, there's a famous incident where someone sighed and then won a hand, and that was considered improper. That was considered.
I could not possibly comment.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want some hot takes, and you ever see Garth at an event,
I mean,
and get his hot takes. Remind him of that incident, and yeah, I'm sure he has some.
Oh, 3-pin. Is this worth a lot? I think it has the Dora 1 mon. But I think it's just outside hand, just Chanta for Matsushima. The scores are all closed. Well, it's Chanta and 1 Dora. But yeah. She goes for this open call here. She might be able to pick up more if the last white dragon ever comes out at some point. Harikae here moving along. That's an interesting draw. Yeah, no more chance to pawn, but she will take that 6-7 type weight. Oh, maybe it's mixed triples as well.
I love these empty discards today.
Although when your hand already looks like an outside hand like Chanta, I don't really have any opinion one way or the other. I think either way would work there. Oh, Tsuma! Matsushima continuing to be it was a 7-8-9 call, so it wasn't Dora's. It is just outside hand. I thought it was a 1-2-3 call. I mean, yeah. It would have been worth a lot more, but it was indeed a 7-8-9 call, so not worth that much. But yeah, 3,400 collects the bonus from the previous round.
It's quite knifey though. Small little hands.
Yeah, well, I mean, when there's 2,000 in the middle, plus Honba, right? Whatever the Honba's worth, it's a reasonable move to just take a small hand and move on. Sometimes even take it, even when there isn't points in the middle. I think a lot of Mahjong is reacting to what your hand gives you. Sometimes your hand is just not going to get 12,000 points. At least
sometimes, you mean most of the time.
Yeah, and I mean, some people will say try and get it there, like just keep waiting. And I think I tend to go down the opposite route where I say, okay, this hand doesn't look like it's worth much, and then sometimes I draw and I've already called tiles and actually it could have been worth more. But I think there's something to be said for taking the small hand when your hand really just doesn't look like it's going to build into much.
Spectria made a lovely comment that said all of the commentators are favorites.
Thank you, Spectria.
Thank you.
Yes, and Matsushima here. Well, this is Sugiyama's hand right now, but when we get around 2 more times, Sugiyama's hand is 1 away from Tenpai. Yeah, 1 away from Tenpai, but not that much value.
That's exciting though.
Yeah, Matsushima's hand is the one I was going to mention. This is not one of those hands where you need to settle for a cheap hand.
No.
Yeah.
That's like I haven't seen any Dora. Is it just me?
That's true. I don't think I've seen any. This is an interesting turning point for Sugiyama. So this hand is currently 1 away from Tenpai, but the weights could be better. If you combine the 4, 5, 6, 7, you could get a better weight, but you'll have to kind of step back. Oh, leaving making a cut on the worst shape of the hand. Maybe she's planning on.
And I'd be kind of eyeing the Hanyo as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a move where she's just trying to get rid of that shape completely.
Do you think she's setting up a Suji trap?
It's possible. You know, you have a point there. I also wonder if maybe Natsume's half flush is already a little bit apparent on the board. She's only cut 1 suit. Okay, there is her first cut of the second suit, the dots. So maybe she's trying to get rid of Manzu.
Yeah, but an early discard? If someone's going to read Suji on an early discard, you know, an 8th turn, 9th turn reach or something, it's very likely they'll try and read the Suji on that.
Yeah.
And then the 8 might come out for you.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you're really hoping for the best, but it's not entirely wrong.
Call has been made on 1 mon, looking like all triplets for Natsume here. The 1 mon is no longer Dora, so it's not worth anywhere near as much as it would be worth last hand. You can see Harikae still making a sort of half attempt at 13 Orphans at Kokushimuso. And now we have a turning point for Matsushima. All the tiles in this hand are somewhat useful, so she has to decide what to get rid of here.
Yeah, I mean, that's the most efficient one, right? And then you're calling.
In terms of just pure calling numbers, a lot of times you got to look at the board, though. The discard pile looks really strange this go around. You can see Natsume has Harikae has the 13 Orphans hand. And it still kind of looks like a half flush potentially, but that's her second dot tile, so looking a lot more like 13 Orphans. And of course, Matsushima right after her, looking like a flush herself. So these are the kinds of boards where you really have to think a lot about whether the most efficient just by tile is actually most likely to get you the tiles, or if those tiles are in someone else's hands.
And Sugiyama is close to putting herself into a 30-10 situation, but I still think her turn there is probably the right way to go.
Oh, 6 pairs!
Options.
6 pairs! She's gonna take it!
Ooh.
No Riichi though, looking for better. I don't even know if I take the 6 pairs there, but I mean, we're not here to talk about me. Or you.
You've got 7 pairs, Chito, so, and a close flush. You're already on 5 hand, right?
Yeah. Chance to change the pair weight. All in on the 7 pairs. She's going for the 1 of bamboo. The 1 so weight completely ruins the shape for any other form of hand, but is a somewhat sneaky weight. And of course, we can see Harikae here has 2 copies of the 1 so.
Is that the door?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't obvious before, it's certainly obvious now. It went out so quickly. It seemed like she was trying to make a sleight of hand.
I would have been tempted to reach on the door.
I don't hate it.
I don't know. Yeah.
But I think she's suspecting that Harikae might discard it, considering she's hoarding a lot of terminal tiles right now. Maybe a Riichi will scare her away.
Yeah, I guess she can fold easily with those white dragons, so maybe she doesn't feel she needs to make the commitment.
Yeah, but if Harikae, see her hands on it. Her thumb is on the dealing tile. It's big.
Yeah.
Not this time.
I don't think Harikae has enough draws to realize her dream on that hand, but
yeah, it's just a matter of how dangerous does she think the 1 so is. Because the half flush isn't 100% obvious on the table. This is another big tempai. It's just barely missing Dora.
But it's Tanya, right? It's just Tanya.
It's decent chance for like explosion, especially.
She's 30-10. Talking about that 5-man discard, she was 30-10 on it.
There it is, Rome.
She was being a bit cheeky with.
And it did not quite make all triplets. It's north only. But with the amount of hidden triplets there, it at least reached 40 fu. So that's 300 points, a few extra sticks. Couple extra sticks there.
Extra sticks.
Man,
Spectra says she likes to find good English terms, most easier to talk about with new players. Yes, entirely, yes. I agree with you, Spectra. I always prefer using English wherever possible, especially with new people, because otherwise you're just talking gobbledygook, just syllables strung together. And that can become a real obstacle for people. It's just that, at some point, in your journey, depending on where you are, some of you can just turn off when I'm talking here, but it might be good to go back and revisit your understanding of those concepts as you progress through your journey. I do even now. What does this really mean? Has it become just muscle memory, so I'm not thinking about it anymore, and therefore I've grown into bad habits that I can work on and perfect?
Yeah. We've got R.I.P. Menhon Chitoi. That's the closed half flush 7 pairs. That is a bit of a meme in my club. So
oh, really?
Hello, welcome. R.I.P. Menhon Chitoi indeed. Yeah, I mean, for a lot of the first pioneers, you as well as Jen and Garth, I mean, learning Mahjong, learning Japanese essentially came with the territory. Danny, Nico.
To be fair, I mean, I learned Japanese years before I even touched Mahjong. The same with Jen. Garth? I don't know what. Garth was playing Ultimate Frisbee and then started playing Mahjong. So I'm not sure how those skills overlap, but hey ho. Yeah, no, he was traveling around playing Ultimate Frisbee. Yeah,
and a lot of the
curious knowledge about him.
A lot of the high level online players, like the internet analysis, there's so many more nowadays that don't have Japanese as their first language. and a lot of them, sort of kind of learned at least mahjong terminology in Japanese to be able to read more articles, right? Of course, there are some translations out there, but
But
yeah.
it's funny. My husband's Japanese. He's a native Japanese speaker. He does not understand any mahjong article. The characters, when you say it, he's like, "That's not Japanese, Gemma. I don't care what you say. That's not Japanese." Because it is a very specialist set of terminology.
Yeah, and a lot of it comes from Chinese, but not in the way that regular Japanese comes from Chinese.
Yeah, it's like garbled Chinese. So yeah, it is quite specialist. There's some stuff that's obviously, is a bit more mainstream, like Riichi, people understand, or you're one away from something, right? Like if you play bingo in Japan,
Right.
Riichi, they'd understand that. And chombo is not unknown, although potentially has some racist connotations depending on the context, unfortunately. So yeah, just be aware that, if you go to Japan, not all Japanese people play mahjong, know about mahjong, care about mahjong, and definitely might not.
We got this
mahjong
Tuso discard here from Natsume. She's completely disregarding the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shape for safety here, and we're even only on the second line. So a very defensive maneuver here from Natsume. Matsushima with pair number 5. Will she go down the 7 pairs route again? She does cut a middle tile, so it's looking like she's definitely thinking about it. And I guess this kind of locks in 4, 5, 6 mixed triples. I guess that's another reason why Natsume would take the safer but less efficient route here. We have a triple discard for Sugiyama, so it looks like pairs versus pairs. At least 2 of our players are going for pairs on this end.
Mahjong is a cult.
Tenpai, but it's the wrong side. Yeah, so she's gonna wait. Natsume wants more value, but Harikae will not wait. She's gonna call that red dragon as it comes out.
She's the dealer, right?
Can't blame her for that. But will she go for the half flush? Big money? No, small money here.
Not small money in the dealer though. Surely she's got to go fast. Oh,
it's the Dora as well. I totally missed that. Well, yeah, of course you got to go as fast as you can. Matsushima sticking to her pairs, also not taking a triplet here. So Matsushima and Sugiyama, 2 opposite sides of the table with the same plan in mind. But now that the Dora triplet is on the table,
yeah,
gotta think that's gonna change some players' game plans.
She wants that 6, 9 pin weight, doesn't she? Oh, we're now tenpai on 8 chitoi, 8, 7 pairs. Waiting on the south.
It's not a bad weight to have. Not a bad weight to have here. We are still in the East round, so it's not the round win here.
I'm really rooting for Harikae for, I don't know.
You just like big hands? Is that what I'm hearing?
I just want to see that one come off, because it's been very stabby, right?
Yeah, Natsume not taking stepping away from Tenpai. The Dora 3 on the table just definitely in everyone's heads right now. You can see normally a player would Riichi waiting for south if the weight is that good, but Dora 3 has the dealer. Way too dangerous. She is willing to discard the 5 so though there. Interesting.
Well, I think the 8 and the 2 come out.
Yeah,
so
it is middle
maybe she's trying to
Suji.
read on the Suji there.
The middle Suji might get her in trouble very soon. If another 5 so comes. Oh, it comes out, but she's still not Tenpai. That would have been a win, actually, if she had swapped the 5 so for the south. And Natsume avoids dealing in, holding a south herself. Man. It's just the butterfly effect, the winds of change. If Harikae had found a Tenpai tile just 1 turn earlier, if not Matsushima had switched her weight, Natsume had kept Tenpai or Riichi, so many things could have changed in this hand, but players doing their best.
Yeah, they're really reacting to each other and what they're seeing.
Yeah, this is an easier chance to make a half flush here. I'm gonna go for it though.
No, it's a little bit late in the day to be making half flushes now.
Yeah, I mean, it's 1 away though, same way her current hand is 1 away, but I think she wants the sneakier weight. The weight that's harder to read.
Yeah.
Okay,
Probably
so
again a bit late in the day to be sneaky.
yeah, we have an East Tenpai now for Matsushima. She maintains Tenpai, but switches the tile that she's waiting on because East is the Yakuhai tile. Oh, here we are. Dora 3 Tenpai. Looking for another 5 cell. Oh, that's not. Oh, it's not it. I thought it was it with the thumb blocking, but it wasn't.
I think there's only one left, right?
Yeah, but I think she's just counting on people to keep discarding it after they've discarded it. I don't know where the Wests are.
Well, she threw one West.
So it'd be Furiten. I see.
Yeah.
We are coming down to the end. It looks like there's 7 tiles, but there might be less depending on where the wall was cut. Not completely sure. Yeah, that's only
5.
yeah.
She's got this the old 4.
So there's only 2 more left
2
instead of
draws
4.
left now, yeah.
A South. And the last draw is for Sugiyama, who has already folded, so it should just be a washout here. Washout being an exhaustive draw where nobody wins. And the 3 Dora collect some Tenpai points, but not the 12,000 that she was hoping for.
She's gonna retain her dealership, so
yeah, and she didn't even have to Riichi, so it's not like she lost 1,000 points on that. It's always interesting when you collect the Tenpai points. It's can feel worth a lot more when you didn't Riichi because you didn't lose 1,000 on the way. Of course, people will say, you can get it back, like it's still in the middle, but I mean, you can always get points. You can always get your points back. Whether they're in the middle or in other players' hands. I did read a book, it must have been a while ago now, that's like, once you throw your Riichi stick in the middle, that's not your points anymore. You should consider it just like the score does, as you were mentioning at the beginning, how the players moved into 4th place just by throwing the Riichi, and you saw the score move a lot because of all the Uma and the Oka, like the positional points. Yeah, once you throw your Riichi stick in, don't consider it yours anymore. Consider that.
Okay, I'm gonna try that because I do consider it mine. I got to be honest.
Yeah,
like it's still in my vicinity.
Yeah, I mean, the real honest truth is that it's really not yours. Like, you've put it in the middle. Of course, you're doing it assuming you have the highest chance of winning most of the time. So you're assuming you'll get it back, but you can't rely on that.
It's quite a negative perspective to think that you've just thrown it into the void.
It's the payment you have to make for greater rewards, right? And especially when it's in the pot, like after a draw like this, it's definitely not yours at that point, right?
I can accept that. I can. The void has sucked it in, and it's just kind of there in the vortex, waiting to spit it out. Right. Not in my direction, probably.
Harikae with the white dragon call. She could call the red dragon to make people very scared, but there are 2 green dragons on the table, so I guess not quite as scared. Still could be a half flush. Could be all kinds of valuable hands. The Dora have not been revealed.
Natsume's hand right now. That's just absolute garbage.
Yeah, but there is a triplet in the hand. So there's like a little bit. It's like a little bit of reason to push.
I've got to be honest, I'd be looking to make sure I can exit that hand with least amount of drama.
I don't hate it. I don't hate that plan. This is 1 away for Harikae.
Yeah.
The legendary Sanzo draw, the 3 of bamboos.
Oh no, you're one of those.
The one, maybe.
It's like a cult within a cult. If we establish that Mahjong players are in a cult, it sounds like
that would have been all triplets, but she didn't want to take the 1 step backward to go for it. I might have been tempted. There's not really many sticks in the middle. It's just 1 Homba.
There isn't it?
It's a little slow though. I will admit that. Jen claiming that all the Riichi sticks in the middle are hers. Maybe that's another way to think about it, Once you Riichi, all the sticks in the middle are yours because you're gonna win. It's like
I think we should call.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Harikae, sorry, she needs to go fast, so I wouldn't be taking. She's dealer. She shouldn't be taking sets back. I know. I feel like the Riichi sticks, like, they're the greed tax. You weren't content with the points that the hand had given you. You think you're worth more, so you have to pay a tax, right?
Right.
And how many times do you get a tax rebate? Me? Never. So
Okay, we got the pawn here. Harikae and Tenpai 1 Han so far. If the red dragon comes out, it is 2, I believe, 40 fu? Or 6? It might not be 40 fu on her own. Might have to be sumo for 40 fu. But either way, she is the dealer. There's 1 homba, so a reasonable amount of points. You're looking at 3,000, maybe 4,000. That is a really good draw for Matsushima.
Jenna's just pointed out on my previous comment about taxes that the taxes do go to the queen. That's correct. That is correct. I know there was a whole problem in America about paying taxes to the queen or king, but get over it. It's mine.
Wow. I didn't realize you ascended to the throne.
Yeah.
All hail Queen Dama.
I think I'm prettier than King Charles, so
dang.
It's a low threshold, let's say that.
Alright, I'll agree with you there. Matsushima still no Riichi, does she? She has the middle. She has the all insides, the Tanyao. And some Dora.
Those Doras. Yes. Quite a few Doras.
She's looking for Sugiyama to discard this 8-mon right now. And this is the purpose of the Dama. I wouldn't say that. Okay, she didn't do it.
No, she's not gonna do it.
No. Yep. I wonder if anything would convince Matsushima to pull the trigger on that Riichi stick. Or maybe she also doesn't want to lose 1,000 points. She's like, oh, this would have been...
That's really tight.
Yeah.
It's really tight.
There's still 1 away here for Sugiyama. Harikae has still been Tenpai for a while, waiting for the beautiful 3-so. Not finding it, unfortunately, because Natsume has it here. And another winning tile, the other side, the red dragon.
What's that one? Is that a 6?
Yeah, it's indeed a 6. She thought about throwing it and then realized it was Dora again, I suppose, and said, "Oh, that's why I wasn't throwing it." No weight change here.
No weight change.
Yeah, so it's Tanya Dora 3, right? On a winning Dora, if the Dora comes out. Only Dora 2 on the other side. Oh, but Sugiyama gets the other Dora. Maybe trying to go for 7 pairs?
It's a bit late for that now, mate.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this is just the safest route she has to keep both Dora and make a hand. So I don't know if she's doing it completely willingly, but I think she's just contemplated and considered that's her best decision. Could, in some insane circumstance, get a double twin sequence.
These red dragons have been buried.
Yeah, I mean, there's one left. But Natsume is not discarding hers. She's not discarding her 3-so. And Sugiyama here is not discarding her Dora.
No,
so
wow.
It looks like our Tenpai players are going to have to kick rocks or something.
Yeah, we're going to go into another continuation.
Yeah, I mean, one of them is the dealer, but honestly, I never want to count a Mahjong hand out before it's over, because every tile that's drawn that isn't the winning tile means there's a higher chance that somebody draws the winning tile as you get closer to the end.
That is true.
Even if there's only 1 left. It's just simple probability. And there's only a few tiles left now. It looks like 4. 4 or 6, but I think it's 4. And it leaves 3. Oh, we're coming down to the end. It looks like Harikae will get the last draw, and I think there's a red dragon still on the wall.
Yeah.
Wrong color! Somebody recolor their dragons, because that is not the one she's looking for.
I know. Jen has like to remind you that you should all hit the like button on this stream.
Yeah, she's also...
Her sense of worth is very much attached to the likes on this YouTube channel. Please don't let her down.
Yeah, if you appreciate what we're doing, especially what Jen's been doing to bring the Japanese scene
Jen's doing hard work. She's doing hard work.
over to the English-speaking world. Give us a like and subscribe so you can see the next videos. She's also been posting some other videos on this channel as well, as some other people have been posting videos to this channel, but the vast majority I think is Jen.
Videos, right?
Yeah.
It took me quite a while to work out how to do it, but we have we got Jen's cute little video where she did a little interview with Yamai, who's our first world champ and also managed to win the event in Paris recently.
Right, the 10-year anniversary.
Yeah, and we got a little video commemorating his victory in Paris. So yeah, and we've got a few other things in the works from some other contributors who, curiously, one of them doesn't even play Mahjong. So it will be worth following just to see what an outside view of Mahjong looks like.
That sounds really interesting. Natsume here calling the last red dragon. I'm not completely sure if she had the pair before the first one was discarded, but that is something actually from Prost. Another of Jen's project. Jen has so many projects. I was fortunately able to be featured in a Prost episode with the legendary Mao, the demon of Mahjong, demon king of Mahjong, Sasaki Hisato himself. And he'll also talk about calling the second of an honor tile, Yakuai tile, when you're trying to search for value, not just to let the first one go. I personally haven't seen like that many cases where I want to do it, but of course that's why he's the Mao and I'm this guy. This guy getting roasted on Prost. Yeah, I mean, I've heard it a lot, but yeah, when the second one comes out, that means there's no more left in the wall, so Natsume is gonna grab it.
I have to be honest, I am one of those people who waits for the second one. Yeah,
I mean, there's times to do it. Even I'll recognize that there are times to do it. I just don't see it super often.
And that time is not just because you missed the first discard because you're busy sorting your hand.
Hopefully not. But yeah, I mean, the Japanese players play extremely fast. If you're just at a parlor, anywhere, even casually, if you don't learn to sort your hand quickly, you're in trouble.
So Jen taught me to play Mahjong, and then when we were both in Taiwan, and she was flying back regularly for her pro work, her Mahjong pro work in Tokyo. And then she said when I was in Taiwan, oh, you should fly over and, I'll show you some of the Mahjong scene in Tokyo. And the first game she took me to was with Katayama Sensei, the manga artist.
Ooh.
And in his parlor, they're all real players. And I'd only perched in Jen's kitchen learning how to cook Infu. And I kid you not, I basically did nothing because I was so terrified with the speed. I was like, just pull the tile and throw the tile, Gemma. Don't do anything else. I could not cope whatsoever.
Oh no.
Thanks, Jen, for that, trial by fire. But yeah, Jen's a great tutor, by the way, for Mahjong. So yeah, again, follow her and stuff. But don't accept invitations to see the Tokyo scene.
Hey, what do they say? Sometimes you got to be a yes, not a yes man in the idiomatic sense of it, but sometimes you just have to say yes to stuff that breaks you out of your comfort zone, right?
Oh yeah, I was but it really opened my eyes up to what Mahjong really is like, and couldn't stop after that. But there is a flush on the table, a really big flush right there in Natsume's hand.
And Matsushima will say yes to that Dora that she just drew. I'm sure Natsume would have said yes to it had she drawn it. But Matsushima gets it. Sugiyama is also holding one. So both the left and the right of Natsume has the 2-pin Dora, but Natsume, it's a draught. A draught of Dora for her. Though Matsushima might end up discarding it. We will see. That green dragon looked like it paired up or tripled up with something in Natsume's hand, but no. She doesn't have one of those. She just has a lot of similar looking tiles.
Oh, it's going on here, Sugiyama? Yeah, I don't know. Would you call this if you're Natsume?
Yeah, I would do it. Panda's worth decent value, I think. And we are getting kind of to the second row. It's getting a little more obvious what her shape is. Oh, she doesn't do it.
Oh, she doesn't.
Interesting.
Oh, I'd want another draw.
Yeah, I agree on that one. But Natsume does not agree. And she's the one holding the cannon in her hand right now, ready to fire. Oh, I thought that was a 6-pin. I don't know how I thought it was a 6-pin, but I guess it's like anything.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah, everything looks good when you're so invested, right? Like holding it upside down, the 6-pin is kind of red on the bottom, and so I saw the red of the Manzu and like the little bit of black from the 4. I thought it was the 6-pin. Okay, 1 away. So Natsume makes the call to go to 1 away.
The audience do not like her not taking that can.
I think that's one thing you learn as a streamer. The audience never likes you if you don't take a con, no matter what the con is. It could be an open con with no Yaku. They'll say you should have gone for Rinshan Kaiho right off the Daiming con.
I mean, I think, yeah, she probably was thinking, well, you know, it's a safe tile.
Yeah.
She's not Tenpai yet.
A lot of the pro players will, especially on a broadcast table, they'll be afraid to do something that makes them unsafe.
Oh, come on. This is a Sanshoku. No.
She does not want to discard Dora into the half. I mean, there's a half flush on the table. You want
the 5-pin?
That's an option. There's still a half flush on the table, though. You're going in on a 3-pin weight against the half flush with 2 calls on the table.
And the 3-pin is my most favorite luckiest tile ever, and it would totally have come.
Yes, that is a fair argument. Oh! That is a fair argument if it's your lucky tile.
Because of the head bump, of course, I wouldn't have had it, and I'd have been really sad and cursing the fact that head bump ever existed. And I'd be like, why aren't we playing double run? I'd have completely changed my moral fabric by this point.
Oh, man. That would have been the game that changed you. But instead, the half flush connects. Not worth that much, like you said. You know, that is the argument for not calling the half flush. Turned out to be
I don't like
almost a pittance.
No. It looks nice, but it doesn't pay out.
Yeah. However, it does keep her out of last place. It actually didn't even get her into second place, but it does keep her out of last place, you know? And it's only South 2.
Everyone here is super close. And it's even worse when you look at the total scores for the teams, right? Because Sugiyama's team Matsukaze is technically in last at the moment. You know, that's really dragging them down much closer to the rest.
Well, you're talking about Mahjong Cafe being in last place?
No,
you mean in this game. Yes, Matsukaze, Sugiyama's in last
game,
place, yes.
Dragging down their total, right?
Yes.
So it's what, 5,000 points? It's not even that, it's 4,000.
Right. It's definitely too close to call right now.
It's not even that, is it?
You know what, though? That con might have put Natsume in second place right now. The foo from the con. Or maybe even in first place with Dora flips, right?
No, you can't think like that.
That's
you can't
fair.
think like that. That's the way to madness.
That I watched my episode, and that is also a lesson that Hisato Pro talks about in that
Don't
episode.
look back.
Something like that. They describe it as a kekaron, or judging by results.
Yes.
Judging by results as opposed to actually thinking about it logic. Oh my goodness. But I would judge this one by results if it landed. This looks like the Honroto, the all outside tiles. Not just Chanta, like outside hand, but completely terminals and honors, and 7 pairs. Oh, cuts the pair just to keep the Dora. These players,
they love Dora in
very
so well.
sensitive to Dora.
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
I remember, I believe it was Aki Nikaido that said you should treat the Dora
Dora is
like
your
your
lover.
baby. Oh,
Yeah.
like your lover,
Your
that's
lover.
it.
Yeah, Dora koibito. Dora is as the lover, yeah.
That's right. It is,
But she's obviously a very kind and gentle and thoughtful lover, whereas probably just throw it out.
it's
So,
it's
depends on your
actually
personal context whether you take that one as advice or not.
I think it's actually one of the Western Mahjong streamers, now that I'm thinking about it again, that says, oh, the door is your baby, you have to care for it and cherish it.
That's yeah.
It's kind
yeah,
of
at least
similar,
there is
but kind of different.
well, as a legal framework, which means you should look after your child.
Right.
Less so your boyfriend or girlfriend. You know, you don't get into jail for that. So Jenna's coined a phrase, hedging orphans now.
Yeah, it's just talking about
Should we go on
Sugiyama's
to Wall
hand
Street
here.
Bets and say that my new strategy is hedging orphans
Hedging
and
orph-
see how many people try
Oh,
to
if
follow
she
it?
had the East here. Oh, she's just gonna cut the East. Yeah, she's just playing for the
You
Dora.
don't believe in her strategy, do you?
Riichi! Harikae Riichi! Out of the West seat, this isn't gonna be worth that much yet, but, you know, Riichi's can never be completely written off. Except in JPML A rules. But
So JPML A rules do not have Uradora, so you don't get to flip another Dora.
or
which is,
Ipatsu.
There's no Ipatsu now, so all of the fun is gone.
Yeah, so you know
misery.
exactly how many Han you have when you reach. It is true. You can score your hand before you even win it. Sometimes sumo, right? You just have to account for the sumo yaku.
You only have to keep a few options in your head rather than suddenly having to recalculate. Oh, Dora.
Well, it's gonna work out here for Matsushima. Natsume is holding that Dora, but yeah, all four of our players here extremely reluctant to ever discard Dora, and so Sugiyama's gonna make a hand using Dora, it looks like.
I like Matsushima's hand.
And that's a pawn. Sugiyama is gonna cut the white dragon, not even willing to discard one, so playing it very safe, but slightly not safe. This is the Mawashi, the rolling hand, trying to maneuver your way and still win without dealing in. This is very evasive for still taking a pawn. There's a lot of tiles left in the wall still. Over 20.
Yeah.
Maybe about 20. Yeah, I'd say over 20 tiles on the wall. Maybe 25. 24. It's an even number right now, but something around there. There's a 3.
We need more overlay. That's what we need. We need more overlay.
I don't know.
We like the overlay upgrade, but we want more now.
I don't know of any TV overlay that counts the remaining tiles in the wall, every single tile. But maybe we can become the first, right?
Quite technically difficult now, because you would have to
just have the guy flick the number every time.
It's job creation, okay?
Yeah, that's exactly. Tile flicker. Tile counter.
I do it for minimum wage.
It's like the road guys that count how much traffic is on the road. What do they call them? Surveyors?
Oh no, if you go to Japan, I like the guys who stand at the front of the car park and wave you in. And
yes.
I drove here. I managed all the junctions and all of that. You think I can't turn right into the car park?
They don't only have that in Japan, I'll tell you that much. We got a Riichi here though for Matsushima. Matsushima's been getting a lot of Riichi. Okay. Looks like Sugiyama's finally gonna have to make a tough decision. Oh, never mind, not yet. She's not going to go for the outside hand. She's going to play completely safe, just the Yakuhai.
Sugiyama's hand could have had more in it.
It does have a Dora, so it is 2 Han instead of 1. There are 2 Riichi sticks on the table. So it is a hand that should be able to get her out of last place should she win.
Mm.
But she's still one away from Tenpai. There's 2 Riichis on the table, so understandably, she will take
Yeah, she's got that one bamboo. She doesn't wanna
cautious
throw that.
route. Out goes the 3-so,
Yeah.
though.
Does that hurt you? I know you really like that tile. Oh, this one
Natsume,
bamboo is
1-4
really
deal in. 1-4, so deal in right now. Okay, going to avoid it. I'm not sure that 8-so, I think 8-so is just Suji. Not completely safe, but it passes in this case. And of course, 6-9 mon here from Matsushima. 1-4 so.
folding now for Natsume.
And it's over. Those 20 tiles went pretty fast once 2 people started reaching.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing. To be able to play against the Riichi still reasonably fast, especially on the broadcast table, it's a skill. I mean, it's not a skill that you necessarily have to have, but
You know,
people will get upset.
It's the level of focus you can have, right, in a room that is dedicated to playing Mahjong. Like, I find
Right.
often when you're, you know, if you're playing with your friends, often you're in, like, whatever, like the pub maybe if you're in the UK.
Right.
And there's all these distractions, so you're not entirely focused on the
Yeah,
game.
like you're trying to
Whereas,
eat food or something like that.
Try not to spill your red wine over someone who's decided to wear white trousers or something horrifying. Yeah.
Oh,
Don't bring your white trousers to the pub, people.
Or you're watching out for the bartender who might also do the same thing. I guess not the bartender, but the waiter or waitress.
Yeah.
It's happened before.
We are on East 3.
This is South 3.
The table.
We're
South
almost done here. And the scores are so close you might think it's East 3, but we've been
these guys have been fast.
hammering at it.
The last game was fast as well. This game has been fast. I definitely feel that, yeah.
Yes. Speedy players.
But this one has been very stabby. Everyone's so close. A Mangan and it's everything's changed again, right?
Right. I mean, last game Asakura had a lot of strong hands that just didn't win, and a lot of them ended up having her deal in. So that was why it kind of got lopsided.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's almost a curse to have a good hand when someone has a better hand, but you don't that you're
just
convinced to reach.
Would you not feel like you're not playing, right? You just let the tiles take the wheel, right? You're like, just drive.
I mean, in that case, you're playing, you're just losing at that point. You're just like, come on, give me something. Like in this case, Harikae, and I believe it was Sugiyama who has the other pair of white dragons. They might get hamstrung here as Matsushima goes for her half flush straight up.
I reckon she's gonna go for a full flush.
It's quite possible. But a lot of those pinzu or those dots are in other players' hands, so it might be tough. There goes a 4. Yeah, not really. What are you gonna call it with?
It? No. Okay, I take that back.
You could, but you'd just be left with a floating 1 and a 4.
Yeah. The only you know what? This is probably bad advice. So take this if you are not so confident playing in real life and you have an awkward flush hand where the weights are just going to cause you a nightmare, just call it and reduce the number of things you have to look at.
That's one fair point. Another thing is that a floating 4 is not too bad, like in the hand.
Another point, another dots. Yes.
That's a big draw.
But I don't think that 4-pin would have been a good call.
Oh, Natsume cutting the 6-mon early. Once again, we have some reverence for the Dora tile. Player is not willing to discard it whatsoever.
Tenpai. And it's a nice Tenpai weight, 369 pin.
Yeah, with the chance at the full straight as well to make it Haneman.
I'll give you 6. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. That's the way to do flush hands.
So Natsume is in a bind here. She doesn't actually have any deal in tiles, but she does not know that. So she's kind of stuck here. Dora on one side, a dot tile on the other side.
I mean, the problem here with this flush hand is obviously it's one of the most obvious flushes, surely.
Right, but the weight is so good.
The weight, yeah, she's got a good opportunity to draw herself.
Yeah, and the scores are very tight, so that means people might be willing to push, especially the dealer in last place right now. Sugiyama.
I mean,
Sugiyama grabs tiles, and her hand is still kind of far away, and really all she has is the white dragon. So we
I've said this on the stream before, but just notice how they shuffled the sticks around so that they're really obvious to everyone on the table. None of this, hiding them behind your calls. She moved the call into the corner and shuffled the sticks out so everything was clear and obvious. Please do that if you're playing in real life, and especially if you're playing on my table, because I'll be so happy.
The one pin comes out. Actually, is the one pin safe? No, I don't think the one pin was safe to the full flush. So yeah, Sugiyama is showing her guts here. This is Tenpai. Nope, no Dora discard. Very scary. Even the North is kind of scary though.
Doing the free pin.
This is a deal in tile. Oof. And there it goes. That is not the Haneman. That's not the 9 pin for the Haneman, but
it's not the Haneman, but
it's still
the Mangan I spoke about at the start of this hand that will change everything.
Yeah, 2 Riichi sticks on the table and 1 Honba. It's almost Haneman. It's over 10,000 points for that one.
That might be the deciding hand for this table. Does Gemma just complain about swapping the drawn tile into the hand? I mean, I don't think I was just in the last 30 seconds complaining.
No, Gemma was mentioning the Honba and the spare Riichi sticks in the pot.
Yes.
Some players will call the tiles and hide the extra sticks behind the tiles, so you can't see the extra sticks so easily.
Corner. Yeah, I think it's really good form to sort of pull them out, make sure that they're easily viewable by everyone. Yeah, it might take a little bit of time for you to shuffle it about, but I think it's worth it.
It's not taking much time for Natsume to make her hand here. I believe if everything goes just right for Natsume, this is enough to take first place on a Haneman Sumo. Like, it is already that set. But she does need a few very specific tiles, so it's not completely locked away quite yet. Matsushima here, trying to find anything to end the hand with. Yeah, but here's Natsume. She needs like 5, 6, 7 Sanchoku, and it's not even Pinfu because we were in South round, so maybe not quite Haneman, even on a Riichi. Might come up short, might need more Urodora, especially because we're not playing with red 5s. So Urodora or somebody to Khan, something like that. She's also sitting in the west seat, so even this route she's taking here where she's making an extra pair, getting a south triplet of the Yakuhai, the value tile, will also only be 1 Han. So maybe a little overestimation by me, but it's still possible, especially with Ipatsu and Urodora, to get the Sumo Haneman for the full comeback. Of course, there's also the direct hit for Mangan that would put Natsume into the winning position. She's going to keep the 7 here. It's always interesting. The 7, a completely inefficient tile, but it gives you the value if you can make 5, 6, 7 for mixed triples, and she needs the points here. Her team is currently in last place overall. Well, at the start, their team's in 3rd, but with the current scores, they're in last place.
Yeah, I mean, Sugiyama's score is really going to drag a team down.
It's going to make the competition interesting, right? That's what you mean to say?
Yes, that's right, yes. Make it more fun.
And remember, only the top team makes it out. So, I believe, when does the season end? Jen is in chat. Jen can tell us when the season ends. I think we're running up to the halfway mark. Or does it end in December and we're running up to the endway mark?
No, it definitely goes into 2025.
Yeah, so we're running up to the halfway mark, I believe, at the end of December. I think. Which means there's still a lot of room, but you still have to aim for the top spot because only the top team makes it out. However, if you are individually, have been on a tear. There's also an individual tournament that takes place for the top players with the highest single score. Next week is going to be halfway.
It goes into March, yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
their psychological year is April to March.
Psychological year.
They like to align with the financial year. I don't know. Is the financial year in Canada the same as the UK, where it goes April to March? But yeah, reasons.
I
It's
see.
not even like 1st of April. It's like the 4th or 5th of
I
April
don't
or
know.
something.
I don't know if the
Bizarre.
fiscal quarters go April to March. Maybe.
I
I'm not informed enough.
don't know. I always presumed it was like, I don't know, the patron saint of capitalism birthday or something, and they pinned it to that.
Yeah, so Jen's mentioning there are 16 sessions in total, but each group only plays in 10. That's why the WRC results today were only from session 5, because they didn't play in session 6. But speaking of which, can't wait to see Jen in next session 8 next week. It's gonna be so exciting.
I am excited. I think I'm commentating her table. I didn't check the schedule, but I'm really hoping she met me commentate her table. We can write down questions and then grill her afterwards.
Oh yeah, interview Jen.
That sounds fun for us and not
Jen's
fun for
been
her at all.
interviewing. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about this shot in front. Oh, she's gonna break up the 5s. No, I guess she still has 5, 6, 7 Sancho because she actually cut the 4. But Natsume does know her winning conditions. She is trying to get the first place because of the bonus, the 20,000 point bonus for first place here, Oka as they call it in Japanese. So she is gunning for that Haneman Sumo or that direct hit manga. Oh, halfway there. Whoa. Copyright infringement, all that. All right, I'm gonna stop.
Yes. So let's just turn this into karaoke.
Debatable.
I think Matsushima's going to win. I don't know. I have so much confidence in her victory now.
Matsushima does have the like. There's more tiles that get her there for sure, but Natsume has the underdog factor right now. Matsushima is also playing 3 games. This is her second game.
Tenpai. Oh no, not Tenpai. Sorry, I misread that 7.
Yeah, it's a bit goofy. You could cut the 7-9, but they're close to the Dora, both of them. Oh, she's gonna do it though.
She's gonna do it.
Harikae trying to keep this dealer alive. I mean, she also probably honestly has the best shot at overtaking Matsushima here. So we have 3 people jockeying. Unfortunately, Sugiyama in last does not really have a comeback hand here. I mean, she has a hand. It's just not of the value, I think.
Doesn't Harikae sound like a mahjong move? It does.
Right? Harikae sounds like a martial arts move, like a sumo move, you know?
Like a Dragon Ball Z move.
No, I mean like Mawashi Uchi is from sumo. So it also sounds like a term that came from sumo.
Yeah, Harikae. Every time someone says it, I'm like, sounds like, yeah, some sort of mahjong terminology.
But that move involves dealing into Natsume here. So Natsume did make the small call. And so
But did she get second on that one?
I don't think so.
No, it's not. It's not.
Yeah, we were talking about knowing her conditions for getting first, but I guess we're on the 3rd line here. She does not want to get 4th, and she doesn't want to lose any more points. So she did make the call on the south, went for the 1,000, and closes it out for her team in 3rd place there. Harikae holding on to 2nd place, positive score there, and that'll do it for the 2nd game.
Schedule's out. I want you to write this down. November the 22nd, we are broadcasting the WRC team's table. Chiral and me are commentating first, and then Tatania and Dave, and then Corak and Tatania. What happened to you, Tips? What happened to you on the 22nd? You just gonna watch us?
Yeah.
You're missing this great opportunity to talk about Jen.
I am casting the day before, so I'm
okay.
yeah. even distribution of work. And it just so happened I did not land on the schedule on the Gen day. But yeah, that just means I get to make my comments. I make the comments from the chat. Exactly.
Yeah, stand in the gallery and yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, on the plus side. On the plus side. You don't have to be as impartial if you're not in the commentary booth, so I can cheer for whoever.
We have to be impartial. I am hard supporting WRC.
That's fair. As the captain.
Yeah, poor Chiral as my other commentator will have to offer the other side. It's kind of, you know, that's what you have to do now, right? When you're presenting the news, you have to offer both sides. I'll just be the extreme WRC side, and Chiral can
just no offensive English football chants, all right?
We only have offensive football chants.
I don't know how well that'll translate over to our worldwide audience.
That's true. I'll think of something polite.
All right. Well, whether you want the British football chants, the English football chants. I mean, honestly, it's all of Britain, right? Not just England with the football.
Yes. No. It's yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can like the thumbs up the stream, and you can subscribe to the channel so you don't miss that November 22nd when we'll see Jen playing live on stream. And of course, we shouldn't count out the other broadcasts.
Yeah, we'll broadcast on the 15th, on the 21st, and after the 22nd, we'll also be broadcasting on the 28th. It's a busy month for Yukan Fuji commentating, but it's a cold month. You don't want to go out. Christmas is coming. You should save your pennies. So sit in with us and watch some Mahjong.
Woohoo! All right. Well, I much appreciated our time here, Gemma.
It was much good fun. Yes.
So, of course.
And I think I'm stepping out now, aren't I, for Corak?
Yep. But one more time, some shout outs to Gemma, our WRC president, JPML Pro. You can find her on X or Twitter at damaqueen Gem, as well as organizing WRC 2025, the World Riichi Online Team League, which just finished, but is also starting again in a 3-player format.
Yes, in January. Sorry, I had an exasperated sigh there. Yes, it's going to be great. Everyone loves 3-player.
And, of course, also played in it, because we are also introducing another commentator who played in it. So we'll have both of them on for just a short time here. You guys are lucky in the audience. 3.
Corak, well.
That's right. We've got Corak here. What's up?
Hello, everyone.
Congratulations. What was it, 63rd placing, was it?
I think I was tied for 62nd. We were the exact same scoreline.
Congratulations. That is a real achievement for Roddle.
Well, I feel like I played the tournament kind of raw, because I actually looked at my placement average. I think I was 4th overall. I just couldn't run up the score in the games.
Yeah. It's an interesting format to play, right? You have to have just a few games of huge scores can really change that streak.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very much a ladder grinder type, so just playing situation, a lot of East only games is definitely gonna bias me that direction.
I should have done an East only Roddle. What am I thinking of 3-player? East only would have been way better.
Is it too late?
You guys last week.
Is it
too late now?
Well, I mean, it sounded like you got a lot of professional support, right? Like a lot of professional participation.
Yes, and there will be a lot playing on the 3-player. As I said, they are degenerates.
Nobody translate that.
No player is you think you can get out and you can't, because there's one less person to bail you out every time you're folding.
There's also one less suit, so there's less tiles.
But yeah, come and join us in January on the 3-player Rottle. It'll be a joy to behold.
All
Yes.
right. Well, thank you for being with here, Gemma.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Have a great commentating.
We will.
All right. Good night, Gemma. Take care.
So, Corak, are you ready for our third game?
Absolutely.
All right, that being said, we've got to introduce our players. We've got our first dealer from the M League Stadium, Miyuki Nagata. We've got Momoka Matsushima going for her third win in a row in the South Seat from the Mahjong Day Service, Wel-chao. We've got Saki Shirogane representing the Mahjong Cafe there in the West Seat. And in the North Seat, we've got Risako Kaji from Matsukaze. Team Matsukaze. It looks like from these names, we are kind of welcoming winter in a little early. I thought it was still fall, but all these names, at least a couple of them, sound winter related. It will be quite interesting to see just what sort of an atmosphere they bring to Game 3. I guess winter is the last season of the year, and this is the last game of the day.
Well, as mentioned, we're going to have a bunch of broadcasts. We have today, tomorrow, and then next Thursday and Friday, and the next Thursday and Friday. So if you're looking to get that Mahjong fix, we got plenty ready for you.
All right. And we've got plenty ready right now. So let's get into it. All right. We see them all getting ready to start. The walls being moved in. Dora being checked. That little head tilt in. Always got to check the Dora at the beginning of the game. You can see Matsushima here. Definitely a little more tired. Playing her third game on the TV broadcast. All the other players were swapped in and out. So these are, they're all fresh faces.
They don't get a break between them, do they?
A small break, I believe. But definitely not like enough to grab lunch in between every game.
All right, well, let's take a look at these hands. Nice little Anko of the 9-so, 7-so's Dora. Other than that, pretty Pinfu shapes. Nice little Pinfu type hand here. Maybe 2-4 Sanjuku, but getting something connected to the 2 mon's a little difficult. The 7-so is a very important tile. In addition to being Dora, you see all those shapes with the 4, 6, 6, 8, 9 in so. 5 pairs up there. Hand moves a little bit forward, but it's looking very cheap. The 6-so definitely looks want to connect to a Dora. 4-mon, as I said, that was that Sanjuku draw you're looking for. That fills it in nicely. And there we have a 3 connected to the 4, possible 3, 4, 5 Sanjuku developing. The East is pretty useless. Back it goes. 9 gives a pair. You keep the flexible safe tile here with the 2-so floater and the pay. The North tile, you see the 3-so connects nicely. 5-so fills in perfectly. His hand's really coming together.
Yeah, I'm thinking that Nagata might also be able to get the 3, 4, 5 Sanchoku. There's a couple players looking for those mixed triples.
Well, any way you can get it is 2 Hans, so it's always something to keep your eyes out for.
Yeah, as long as
I'm
it's
seeing
closed.
a lot of these hands, they're all really cheap unless they draw Dora or specifically into the Sanchoku.
Yeah. In the previous game, a lot of the players refused to discard Dora. We only have one repeat player, Matsushima, but she has won both of the previous games, so she's looking for the three-peat here today.
Nice. Well, you see that 5-mon over there, upgrading that to Ryanman. There's a nice 8-pin pair. You can just cut the 2 here. Could also cut the 9 if you just want to hedge the 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Ooh, 4-so's a really interesting draw here because you kind of want the Peiko. You also definitely want the Dora, but goes ahead and throws it back. Wants to keep the 1, 3, 5, 5 shape in Manzu.
I wonder if going to sort of like a different Yaku, like all insides, is on her mind right now, or whether she's just going to go for the fastest hand possible. As you mentioned, a lot of the hands look kind of cheap.
Well, speaking of, okay, there it is. That was definitely the right decision. If you know you're going to draw Dora the next turn, should just be one mon. Can go with the 5 if you want to get really greedy in Monzu, but I feel this has to be a Monzu cut, and probably the 1. And there it goes.
Yeah, I think it seems like this game as well, all of our players are hoping to draw Dora next turn. So that's like the first thing on their minds.
Well, Dora are good. It's just like a free cheat code to extra value.
Oh, finally a discard though.
Speaking of Dora, yeah, there it goes. Just going for the open Tanya. Doesn't really see any other value in this hand. Because once they shut these things down, you're getting towards early to mid second row. You're figuring people are getting close.
Right.
Ishunt in here for Riichi, potentially Riichi Dora. And there's the 2 that is now Tempai. We'll wait on the 7-mon Kanchan.
Yeah, so did not end up getting the mixed
there's
triples.
our Tempai. This is Riichi Dora 1 waiting on 2 5-pin. And speaking of Dora, there's one drawn. Does kind of connect here still. The question is, do you just fold out with, say, 4-so, 3-so? Throws the Gimbutsu 5. So going to kind of hedge a little bit of everything here.
Matsushima.
And this is the problem when you call for the open Tanya with a bad weight is you just know someone's going to reach you. If you don't finish in time, you're in deep trouble.
Yeah, I know this a lot when I'm playing. It's a matter of a lot of times when you have the open Tanya, it's a matter of I'm probably negative EV, like negative value no matter which way I go here. But what is less negative? Is it less negative to risk dealing in, or is it less negative to try folding with not many save tiles? And so it's kind of like being between a rock and a hard place, but you still have to decide what is the best outcome, because between -1 or -5, there's still a better option.
There it is. Just sumo. That will shut this down and get the Riichi stick, and that's why you try and fight.
Exactly. So a good call from Kaji here, although can't judge it all by the results, but at least in this case it worked out for Kaji.
Well, something you're saying is really important there, that just folding is always just negative value on average. Because they're going to sumo or potentially pay out Tempai payments at the end. Unless there's a roan from one person to another, you're going to end up paying out. On average, it's roughly, I guess, around 2,000 or so every time you're folding. So if your average value is, say, -800 from pushing, oftentimes you just go for it because it's better than outright folding.
Yeah.
Maybe different on very aggressive tables, though, of course. Ooh, nice starting hand there with the double east pair. Can call that down. Great shapes as well. Speaking of pretty good shapes, bunch of pairs there as well. We see the south pair here, not the Yakuhai, because that's the west player. Speaking of west player, we see 2 wests in this hand, but that's also not the west player. 6-0 connects very nicely. This hand's looking very expensive.
Yeah, I mean, Matsushima does have the east tiles, even if she's not the west player, so she has her own Yaku. As well as the one of the round, so it's worth quite a bit here. I might even call the west.
If you go Honitsu, how long do you float the Dora for dealer there? There's just so many routes in that hand. I really like it.
Yeah, as you're saying, Nagata has the bigger issue, not being the west player, but also not having any other Yakuhai. It's going to be interesting because Matsushima just got a Dora weight here with the 4-pin, and obviously those don't fill that easily because the other players clutch Dora with Vice Grip here.
New to see the 4-mon draw, allowing the 4-5-6 Sanchoku route, has 2 in each suit for it. Oh, now you see how much of a believer in Sanzo we get here. We'll go ahead and keep the pension.
Yeah, we might even see a half flush from Matsushima if she doesn't want that Dora weight. Because she doesn't actually have a Dora. She just has the potential of waiting on Dora.
Well, and especially when you have a bunch of floaters like this, you're just hoping something pairs up and you don't have to play it like a normal hand.
Right.
Speaking of non-normal hands, that is the 5th pair.
Oh, 7 pairs. We saw a decent amount of 7 pairs earlier today. Not an absurd amount, but a decent amount. We're also looking at like I wonder if she'll call for a half flush. Like, I wonder if she calls the west if for some reason Nagata discards west tiles here.
The problem with this hand is you're going to open most of the time anyway, but you're losing your pair if you make that call. So I feel if you make that call, you're just immediately cutting the 5-3 pit and going for the Honitsu.
Right.
But there's our Riichi. This is Riichi Chitoitsu on the Dora, so Riichi Chitoitsu Dora 2.
Yeah, so that's another
Sumo
person waiting
Hanemon
for the
Ura to
Dora.
Paimon, potentially.
I think it's a little different if you already have a copy of the Dora and you're waiting for a pair of Dora, because that's like decent value already. Whereas you're waiting like an inside wait or an edge wait for the Dora, and it's like you're only waiting for the Dora, but you also don't even have any value until you get it yet.
Well, and the other thing when you're waiting on Dora in Riichi, you figure it's never getting thrown,
Right.
so you're looking to sumo Hanemon minimum.
Exactly. That just means your hand is worth more. So we see the West coming out here. Obviously, Nagata not making the call. She had no Yaku and not even close to Tenpai. But it does mean they're starting to be released, and that's going to give a bit of trouble to Nagata. But I think she's just fine using it as a pair here for a Pinfu type hand. She's even willing to cut 9-so here.
The problem there is there's an 8 mana discard, so definite Furiton possibilities.
Right. Hard to catch that at the speed,
Ooh,
but that's why
two
we're
we have
on
an
the
Onko
mics.
here. You can kind of fight this down throwing the south.
Yeah, not yet. Gonna go with the 5 still for now.
Yeah, I believe that's a Nakasu's.
Huge draw. This is it. But as you mentioned,
but it is
Furitan.
Furiton. Yeah, you see the 8 there on the second row leftmost tile.
Oh,
She's gonna Dama as a result.
It's a little dangerous. Oh,
Oh,
Dora
speaking
from
of
Matsushima.
fills,
She really wants that east tile, but I guess she could get a couple of 3, so there's one of the easts. And there it goes. It's called.
yeah, you absolutely call it for Tenpai with double East Dora 1.
We're looking at a 2-way battle right now. Maybe 3-way if Kaji gets there, but Kaji's hand definitely not worth as much right now.
Now you can get out of Furiton cutting the 7, but just goes in and throws away breaking Tenpai.
Oh,
And I have an upgrade to
1-4.
1-4, so. Oh, and there's the 4!
The perfect
Double East
switch.
Dora 1.
At
So
the
we'll pick up
perfect
the
time.
Riichi Stick and 5,800.
I mean, that was good efficiency and a solid play overall for our 2-time champion this day, Matsushima. Already looking to reprise her role back into first place by East 2, and she still has the dealer position.
Look at this hand, a couple pairs, and these extra floaters. You're not as thrilled. I guess there's, 3 pairs in this hand? Not an ideal hand at all. 1 pins Dora, nothing really connecting to it. Similarly, kind of a bad hand. This is a much better one. Can be Pinfu, maybe Pinfu, Tanyao, Sanjuku, potentially the 6, 7, 8. 6 at least allows you to get rid of the 9. Rest of the hand isn't that great. 7 connects here to the 8 loosely, but again, it doesn't feel like very expensive or fast.
Yeah, I mean, in the previous couple of hands, Kaji has also taken the option for open Tanya, which is still available here on this hand. Obviously, no value because the Dora is the 1 pin, which doesn't fit in the Tanya hand, but she might do it again. We'll see.
6-0 allows an upgrade to a possibly Peiko if you cut the 2-so. Can also cut with a 3 pin or 8 pin. But I feel the 2-so is the right cut here. And out it goes.
Seems good.
Chun pair up, so that at least gives you the ability to call for Chun and maybe a Dora later. Ooh, Anko of the 8 pin. I guess there's an awkward Sun Anko route in that hand. But still just not any value yet.
I think most...
Well, there's a Dora.
Yeah, most Sun Anko hands feel kind of awkward. And yeah, we can see Kaji sort of changing up her game plan after drawing the Dora. Dora and Tanya both worth the same amount, but only one of them can be used to win the hand on its own.
Ooh, there's a nice little Anko. That's Tenpai, isn't it? Yeah, that's Tenpai
Yes.
waiting on 2 pin.
It's a very interesting
throw
decision.
it in. You can cut the Dora, but you're losing value if you're cutting Dora.
Well, I mean, you get Tanya, right? So it's like a trade-off.
Well, yeah, but you don't get Pinfu either because you have this Anko. So unless you get what I think specifically the 4 pin,
Yeah,
we'll go ahead and
she's
cut
looking
the
for
Dora.
a better weight because the amount of
does
weight
not believe the
improvements
2
are
pin is
huge.
very good here.
It's definitely slightly slower for now, but it might be faster in the future.
4 and the 3 connect, so definitely going Tanya now there as well.
Kaji
Of course, we
seems
see
to
that
be
2-pin pair, so it would be a pretty bad weight. Here's our third one.
right. Kaji seems to be our number one advocate of Tanya on this in this third game. She's currently individually at plus 34.4, and she's got all second places in every single one of her games so far, 2-2-2. So she hasn't been able to collect that Oka, that first place bonus, but she's been placing fairly positively.
Yeah, seconds will get you the slight pot. Well, this is Riichi Tanyao if you take it. The 7-so is what, 1 cut on the right? It's not that much better, but it's better than a 2.
Yeah, this
And
would
there it is,
also
Riichi
allow
Tanyao.
her to do a silent tenpai, a closed tenpai, and actually be able to roan. But she is going to go for the higher value and just Riichi here, not
You see
seeing
the
many better
Ishenten there,
room.
cutting to pay.
Tsushima fighting
And
back
here's
as the
Riichi.
dealer.
This is also Tenpai.
Yeah.
Doesn't want it though. Would be waiting a Kanchan 5. This is the 2-5 pin weight.
Yeah, the first game on stream today had a ton of three-way Riichi battles, but it doesn't look like our players are willing to get into it here. It's always very dangerous to be the third person to do a Riichi.
It's very dangerous. Oh, there it is. Just him, a Riichi, Sumo Tanyao.
And Kaji with really good discard reading here, knowing when to change her weight and when to just strike while the iron is hot.
Yes, 2-pin was pretty bad, and the 7 didn't look that much better, especially with 1 out, but does hit it. That's going to be a nice little win there with 3 Han, and of course, an extra Riichi 6.
Yeah, and if you speak Japanese and you're interested in learning from her, she also has a YouTube channel. You can find it by searching her name. I believe you probably have to use the kanji, but I'm sure if you use the hiragana, Risako Kaji, you type in Mahjong, you'll be able to find her as a member of Saiko Isen Nihon Pro Mahjong. Surely she can beat the search algorithm a little bit for her exact name.
All right. Well, I hate hands like this. It's which suit do we want our Itsu in? And the answer is we don't know.
It might be none, honestly. You
Well, that's what it
might get a
usually
Riichi
is.
only with that.
5 doesn't really connect, but everything's loose here. This hand's a little bit better, hedging the 1-2-3 Sanshiku, but it's not good. I'm not impressed with any of these hands. Now you at least have a Hatsu pair. You can maybe try and call it down for 1 or 2 Han.
Yeah.
3-so is Dora.
I mean, definitely Kaji has shown us that he's willing to call it down when necessary, but this time, will Shirogane be able to do it?
And the decision here is, do I want to just go for the Honitsu? And the answer is maybe.
Yeah.
Doesn't immediately cut the 4-so, which would lock it in, because then you can't accept Dora anymore. But is going to keep the option open.
Shirogane here is a little more of a wild style player. In fact, in Japan, they refer to her play as the Silver Blizzard, and she loves pachinko, slot machines, and boat races. She actually won the JPML Women's League and is in the Konami Mahjong Fight Club, alongside Jen. Well, she has her own YouTube channel as well. But we'll see if it's enough for her to win this hand.
You're seeing a lot of lateral movement where the draws aren't immediately helping, but you can get more acceptance on a lot of these draws.
Yeah, the hand is slightly getting better, but not actually improving in Shanten or tiles away from Tenpai. You're hoping in the future it will. You keep
that's
adding
the thing
more
a lot
scaffolding.
of especially new players run into is, I want the hand to be this.
Right.
Like you have a plan for the hand, and it's going to be that. And so much of the time, the wall just says no.
Right, and that's why you need to accept as
the
many
skill
tiles.
in the game is how do you maneuver with hands that don't work the way you expect them to.
Yeah, I wonder if Nagata here is actually going to accept any other tiles other than this perfect shape of mixed triple sequence.
Yeah, definitely
Outside
wants that 4, 5,
hand.
6 Sanshoku. And we also have a second 1, 2, 3 Sanshoku.
Yeah, here comes
in this hand.
Nagata. Here, this is Nagata right here. She's one away from the dream hand. It's got the Dora 3-so in it. It's got Sanshoku 1, 2, 3. It's got Chanta close, that's 2. It could be enormous, but you could also just draw the 4-so, and at least you still have Dora with 3-so, but everything is gone from the hand at that point.
Oh no, the 1-so draw.
Yeah,
Now you
this
can
is
cut the
interesting.
5-so and play for Chanta.
And she's gonna play for not even Pinfu. She's the West player, so she doesn't even get Pinfu off of this.
Yeah, I think I like the 5, even though you do lose the 4 acceptance, just because you can use the West as a Yakuai and keep your Chanta.
Yeah, I think she just really wants the 3-so Dora. So
Oh,
whether
speaking of fills, there's a Kanchan,
that's
Riichi,
huge.
Pinfu, Dora, possible Sanshoku.
That is enormous for Matsushima. Looks like she's just got the flow today. She can almost do no wrong. But the hand is not won yet. Can't count your chickens before they've hatched.
Gets a 4, but it's the wrong one. Looking for the 4-7 pin. Speaking of 4-pin, there's one of them. Fits into this hand.
Yeah, that's Shirogane, and she has the double east. She's not Tenpai yet, but that could be a huge obstacle for Matsushima here. Matsushima not finding it yet. Shirogane with a hard decision now. She's gonna stay in there. I guess the 1 pin
It's
isn't
just
the most
such
dangerous.
a white ace Shunta, and I like the fight.
Yeah, she's in last place as well, and so is her team in the overall standings. So she's got the most to gain out of anyone. Oh, Nagata throwing away her beautiful hand though. Doesn't think she can grab it. I believe a lot of the tiles that she needs for the dream hand, the mixed triple, has been discarded already. Have been discarded, so might make sense. Oh, but she might not be out. It's
Might
just
be
not...
able to back into this. It'll be significantly cheaper, but at this point, you're honestly just looking for Tenpai.
Yeah.
You're not expecting to win necessarily.
Hirogane taking a little bit of a slower route. Doesn't want to discard that green dragon. It's pretty scary.
Oh, speaking of Tenpai, there we are. We'll just
Riichi!
Riichi here. Riichi, Dora 1, waiting on 4-so.
Oh,
Ipatsu! Riichi, Ipatsu, Dora.
Oh, yeah,
And
that's
in
an
Ura,
Ura.
that's Mangan.
Looks like Matsushima's luck might be running out. I don't know if you can have enough to last 3 games in a row. That's a tough one. Her hand looked so beautiful. Shirogane, of course, not happy either, but at least she didn't have to pay 8,000 points.
Now, that's something a lot of people run into is, do I reach my bad weight, especially late? And there are pros and cons to it, and that's definitely, you feel so good when that happens.
Yeah. And of course, you don't feel good when your beautiful Pinfu Sanshoku deals into Ipatsu to a chasing
On
Riichi.
Kanchan, by Dora, yes.
Oof, and flips Uradora. It just happens sometimes. That's Mahjong. Woo.
All right, we're in East 4 now.
Now we move on to Risako Kaji. She's in the lead. Despite taking the smaller hands, fighting it out. Those smaller hands have been enough to keep her in the lead. And like her team is also in the lead, both at the beginning and of course, if she ends the game at this score, her team will still be in the lead.
Interesting cut here. You get a lot more acceptance if you cut the 6-so, but you don't really want to ever cut that Dora. So goes and throws the 1, also keeps the Sananko Ishanten.
Yeah, it looks
and
like
I believe there's an Ipeiko Ishanten on a 4-pin draw.
looks like a couple of these hands might be really fast, but Matsushima just not getting the hand to make her comeback here. You know, sometimes after you deal into a Mangan like that,
Ooh, nice bill with that 7-so.
you get a hand to immediately turn it around. But not this time. Unless she gets 13 orphans, I wouldn't count that quite out yet.
No, there are some very fast hands in this specific
Yeah.
situation. So you had 2 people that are sitting here waiting for that tile.
Right. And Kaji could be one of our benefactors here. Nagata being the other one. Shirogane, I wouldn't completely count her out yet, but she's not quite there. Not with our other 2 players.
Yeah, this is the thing. You're sitting here at Ishanten, one away, and just miss, 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 miss. And this is something I brought up multiple times in different broadcasts. You're often not the only one that's miserable in this situation.
Right.
Sometimes someone else is doing the exact same thing.
Kaji here is an interesting dilemma. Do you keep the floating 6-0 or do you extend your shape? And Kaji does not want the extended shape.
You do have the potential for it to an issue with the 9-mon and the discards, but I think you can go either way here.
That's fair. I do tend to like those extended shapes when I'm early on in my hand, especially like 2 or 3 away. But maybe she has somehow figured out by the discard pile that Manzu, especially that 3-mon that's sitting in Nagata's hand, is going to be hard to find. I guess she can see 5-6-6 on the table as well from Matsushima. So those are another few tiles that don't really help a 4-5-6-7 shape, and it kind of pays off here.
There's your connection. It's
Kind
not
of.
pretty. It's Tanyao.
Yeah, and it's 1 away now. I guess we'll see what happens.
It's callable, but the 3-pin and the 5-pin are very hard to get. And then the
Right.
5-so is the other improvement. There's the 5-so. That's a gift if I've ever seen one.
Whew, big chi. I mean, it's not a red 5, but we don't have any of those. Might even be able to make mixed triples, the 4-5-6.
There's Senpai. If it's taken, you can also cut 3-mon.
Oh!
Gonna go ahead and Riichi, and there's the deal on Dora, Tanya, Dora 3.
Dealer Mangan. Oh, basically. I don't think they use Kiriage Manga. I can't remember. Might be 11,000. No, they do use it. 12,000. Dealer Mangan.
Yeah, that's gonna put Kaji way up in first. And when you're shooting at 44-4 and second place is tied at 19-4, you're feeling pretty comfortable, especially with your team already in first place.
Yeah, this is big for Kaji. Sometimes the Tanyao is worth a lot. This Tanyao had 3 Dora. Kaji with the big score right there.
Hands, we have a bunch of pairs in this one. Could go Toy Toy or Chitoitsu. And this end on the other side is pretty terrible. Might even go Kokushi with it. That seems to be the play given that 5-mon cut. There's a tune. It is passed.
Yeah, I think it's 5 pairs, right? Oh, she breaks a pair already.
Wow, that's pretty surprising.
Yeah, interesting to not call the red dragon, but also
play it like a normal hand.
We also have Matsushima going for 13 orphans again. I guess really no luck, but I mean, if she makes
the
it,
hand
all
was
the luck.
so bad. At least hedging the option for Kokushimoso is
and there we go. That's another one. Is she on 10 now? It looks like 10. 10 pieces of the puzzle.
Yeah, I don't think there were any pairs in that hand, so that'd be 10.
Yeah, that's pretty good in this position. 11?
Okay.
This is
and
crazy.
Remember, we don't have a pair,
this is
so
crazy.
That's better than a standard 11.
No, we want to see 13-sided. 13-sided weight Kokushi.
Well, then when you deal into a 13-sided Kokushi, it just, okay, move on.
Well, that's a pair, so maybe not 13-sided.
Yeah, it's not going to be there, but it is Ishanten for Kokushimoso.
This is crazy. The first line isn't even over yet, but we do have players very close to Tenpai. Kaji's thinking pretty hard about the West. I don't know if she's considering it a safe tile or she's afraid of it dealing in, but she's holding on to that West tile. Fortunately for her, that's not going to be the winning tile.
One so is a pair, so that's not it.
Not quite.
4-pin can allow you to do some shifting around for Sanshiko, but normally you just cut the West here. And we'll do so. 9 so. Oh, no, it was the Chitoitsu. I mean, it feels like it almost had to be with how the hand started.
Oh, she breaks another pair. She's not going
Well,
back.
at this point, you're
She's
getting a little
committed.
concerned about the Kokoshi. Now you've seen the first overflow.
Yeah, we have
The
what?
question is, how close is it really?
She needs a 1 of dots, a 1 pin. I think I can see 2 of them, 1 in the discard and 1 in somebody's hand. And she needs 9
so.
of bamboos, yes. And of course you were talking about, I think the 9 so earlier, the 9 of bamboos. Locked up in Nagata's hand. Oh, sorry, no, this is Kaji's hand. But yes, there are a pair of 9 so locked up in Nagata's hand as well. And here they are. So that only leaves
one left. But there only requires 1. You just have to draw it yourself.
And to be fair, Nagata, after not going for the 7 pairs route, might actually discard a 9 so. So if Matsushima can get Tenpai fast enough, this could be
yeah, if you draw a 7 so, it probably just comes out.
Yeah, this could be an enormous...
Oh, speaking of drawing 7 so, that's just Tenpai. And we'll go ahead and take the Riichi here. Riichi, Dora 1, 2-mon, 9-pin Shumpon.
Yeah, she did not go for the Ipeiko, the twin sequences. The extra Yaku there, just wanted the better weight for maximum efficiency. And what will
This is so tile, but it's not the right one. Oh, and now we have the Suji on the 2, so 2-mon should look reasonably safe.
Another
But that's
Tenpai?
Tenpai. I mean, you have to take this.
Yeah,
Riichi's
Kaji's the
Infu,
dealer.
Dora 1, waiting on 3, 6-mon.
Kaji is the dealer. Is it the 3-6-mon? Well, 2-mon. And it deals in.
Suji 2-mon deals in.
Yeah.
Riichi, Dora 1.
I mean, a number of 3-mon had come out. Maybe it was like a 1 chance, but it was a triplet weight, a shampon weight as they call it. So those weights don't care about Suji because they're not using sequences at all.
Right, Shirogane jumps into second off of that one and will be Nagata's dealer as we are now in South Round.
Yep. Nagata, actually, she likes her given name. Her first name, Miyuki. Beautiful Snow. She is the beautiful snow that sings, dances, and plays Mahjong. She's a voice actress, and she's done voice acting for Gintama, one of my favorite animes, actually. It's very exciting. We'll see if she can get out of last here in this game.
Forso connects there to the nice little Rionman upgrade, but this looks to be the best hand. We have the North pair, the White Dragon pair. Not too much value there, but it's fine.
Yeah, just
June
missing the Dora.
So, yeah, the big question with a Yakuai Dora like that is who has it, and if no one has it, what happens when someone draws one?
Right. We might not even get there. Kaji has another quick hand here.
Yeah, quick hand, not too much value. Probably Shriki Pinfu, but if you can get it, you always do.
But she seems to be the master of those kinds of hands. She's been playing them pretty well, and combined with a little bit of Dora collection in one of her dealer turns, it's rocketed her to this 43,000 point lead.
Ooh, interesting 3-mon pair up. You have Ipeiko routes, you have Chitoitsu routes, and Tanya looking very good there.
Yeah, and maybe just the all simples, the Tanya route here, all inside tiles with a 3-mon pair. Oh, another pair.
Speaking of pairs, it's only the third one, so probably not going to go for a pair-based hand.
Yeah, Shirogane might be a little less happy seeing a pair.
5 so upgrades the shape Sozu. You're looking for 5, 6, 7 Sanju. Looks very realistic now.
Yeah.
4 connects there nicely. This is Ishan 10. We'll go ahead and cut the 4-pin. Potential 7-pin, 9-pin Shampone, or some shifts in Sozu to create a Riichi Pinfu Tanyao.
Yeah, Shirogane has that 3 so she's holding on to.
Well, that is Ishan 10 now.
Yeah,
you can still keep the 5, 6, 7 Sanshoku, and that's going to be the play here.
Yeah. Might give up the 9-mon later for the Tanya, the all inside end, but we'll see.
If you get the Sanshoku, you don't really have to think too hard about it, though. Draws a Sozu, but that's not it. 4-mon's an interesting tile. I like the 3. Yeah, there it goes. The
Out goes
the
3.
4-mon allows you to go towards any Peiko and cut the 9-pin pair to move it to Tanyo as well.
Right.
West is a miss, but it's going to be held around as a safe tile for now.
Yep, it does have some purpose, and that is gonna be there. It is. That's the first Dora. The Dora you mentioned.
Chi here. Will this be Honetsu play? Yes, it is.
It's actually very late to be seeing the first Dora tile from the wall, so everyone's guards are gonna be on high alert.
Especially when someone's making an awkward call like that with a terminal, you figure, okay, I think that's where the Dora is.
Right.
Oftentimes, it's a Dora pair just looking for the third one, so
Yes.
unless you're really confident, you're not getting out of there.
Oh, here's a swap.
4, 5, 6 Sanshiko shift.
I wonder if this half flush will pay off. I mean, I guess it means she doesn't necessarily need that white dragon, which can be pretty big because Matsushima is holding on to it right now.
Yeah, just drew it. So at this point, again, you're wondering what's the Yaku. There aren't that many options. Oh, speaking of Chun floaters.
Yeah, and now the bluff, the Dora bluff could be reality.
There's Tempai.
Is she gonna do it? Yes!
Out it goes.
Oh, it's gonna give.
There's the one, so that just deals in.
Oh, I was gonna say that's gonna give Shirogane room to discard her Dora, but we didn't even get there. Nagata collects the points.
Man, it's 3,000. It's not a big win, but it shuts things down. And you're getting that third row. You're perfectly fine just taking anything there.
Yeah, and it's a redeal as well.
Now, speaking of Sozu Honetsu, we have a Chun pair and a whole bunch of So tiles. Could go the same round. Now you have the 6, 7, 7 in Pinzu. Still might go for it, but yeah, was that 2 Dora? No, 1 Dora. Can't accept another one though, so the tons of value potential there. The 6 fits in nice with a 5, 6, 7, 8 in Manzu. Rest shapes are okay, but not great. 2 is a nice fill there with the 1, 2, 3. Their shapes are a bit of a mess. And this hand has a potential 1, 2, 3 Sanshogu, maybe an Ipeiko in Pinzu, and decent shapes everywhere else in Floating Dora. 5 pin fits in very nicely here. Connects with the 6, 7, 7 pin.
Yeah, Nagata's hand is it's almost like a case study of should you or shouldn't you call. There's arguments on both ways, and it could go either way depending on the point position, considering how much she needs right now.
That 4-mon's a really awkward tie. Do you give up your Dora acceptance? Do you give up the Peiko acceptance? Goes and gives up the Peiko cutting the 7 pin.
Yeah, so a lot of decisions being made here by our dealer, Nagata, in this hand. Could be paid off or could end up backfiring, but we're going to see, would assume, relatively soon.
And of course, the big question is, do you call the Chun? And with the rest of the shapes, I don't think so, at least not yet.
Yeah, it doesn't look that great currently. I just want to let it go. I mean, technically, Nagata's hand is 1 away using the red dragon, the Chun as the pair.
Well, we're about to see it, and that's the last red dragon. It is passed.
So no Pinfu.
So it will be the pair.
Yeah.
And obviously the 4 is just useless at that point. You don't even want the Shampoo weight anymore.
Exactly.
Well, 1-mon's nice little Itsu upgrade. Needs the 3-mon and 9-mon. So connects to the 2s, but you have that floating door. This is a very difficult discard. I think I'd go 6 pin, but I'm not confident on it. I also don't mind 2 so.
Dora is kind of iffy, huh? I don't hate even just
well, at the same time,
Dora,
I don't want to really win this hand without the Dora. It's not great. You could also go 1 pin, which I guess hedges the most. Oh, yeah, there we go. The 6 pin. That was my initial thought.
Yeah, she did.
Ooh, so nice fill there. Will likely be Riichi Dora or Riichi Dora 2.
It did look like Kaji was thinking about discarding 7 Sodora, but she did decide to go with the 6-pin, as you mentioned. Can't see what this draw is, but it looks good.
Well, it looks purple and like a shirt.
Oh, yeah, it was a 1 so it fits right into the 1, 2, 3.
Oh, wow, that is the draw. Should be 5 so. Your Ishunten for Riichi Pinfu Itsu.
Yeah, Matsushima was playing from first place in the previous 2 games. Now she has to play from last place. Let's see how she functions from there.
The 8 doesn't do a lot here, but you're still not that thrilled with all your shapes.
That 1, 2, 3, 4,
The
4
4 technically accepts more options. Oh, there's our Tempai, and that's a good one. Riichi, Dora, Possible Haku. Shumpo, Ninemon, Haku.
That is also Tempai, but Dora discard after
the
dealer
Dora
reach?
into the Ipatsu into that pawn with all sorts of middle Pinzu, and just had a Riichi on the Manzu tile.
Yeah, not dealer reach, my mistake, but Shirogane. It's still an Ipatsu reach to discard Dora here. No dice. Not happening.
Just gets out of. I might have gone 1 pin.
I think either you get out or you go all in. I don't know if 1 pin is safe enough.
No, 5-2-8 seems pretty safe to me.
That's fair. Goes with the 2 pin here. He's playing completely safe for now. Tempai.
Well, that is Tempai, I believe. Yes, it is. It'd be 2 5-pin if you got the 5-mon or 8-mon.
That's right.
That is not the Tempai I wanted. You see the long pause here, and big decision on the portrait there in the lower left.
5-mon, 8-mon do not look good. Maybe the 9 pin comes back out. It's not completely safe, but it looks relatively safe. Fighting!
Yeah, I think you just throw the stick in. This is fine. You're in 4th place. You have a good weight. You're not really going to be able to get out of this hand, I don't think.
Here we go. The battle begins. 5-pin, 8-pin. They are safe tiles. Genbutsu to the dealer. However, there really aren't many 8-pin left.
Now you see the tune pair finally
Oh, sorry,
broken.
it's 2-5
on it. Yeah, 2-5 pin.
That's a bit better. But there are a couple 2-pin on the board as well.
Oh, there's one of those Haku. You can't throw it here, can you?
Kaji has played a little bit aggressively, but this hand does not look like it has anything.
You've already just hard folded in this hand.
I don't see it here. What is she thinking about? Oh, maybe there's just nothing completely safe.
No, nothing's completely safe. Yeah, it goes to the 1, so I think that's reasonable.
8-pin! That's the last 8-pin.
This the other problem is, what do you do now? The 7 was the first Riichi tile, but the second Riichi tile is an 8-mon, so it's not safe to the second Riichi. And in these situations, the second Riichi is usually more expensive.
Yeah, neither of them are the dealer, so it's a reasonable stance to take to try and avoid the second Riichi.
Oh, there goes the Haku!
The white dragon?
Well, that is the expensive end, and that's a Mangan. Riichi, Haku, Dora, Ura, Mangan.
Well, she did follow the advice. She didn't deal into the second Riichi, but the tough one. And she still has points to spare, but not many here.
Yeah, I think I like the 1 pin or the 4 pin, because if any of them patch, you just have 3 tiles immediately, and you're pretty safe to the end of the hand. It's not a great option, but I feel it's better than a live Haku to 2 Riichis.
Yeah, it's
unfortunate
definitely
though.
A bit scary. Hard to decide. That's definitely one of the kinds of plays where, as long as you have footage, and I hope she has access to this footage as well, right?
Oh,
so that's one of the ones. That's one of the ones you want to look over. Just double check that you actually made. They might even have writing Paifu as they play. Who knows? Paifu being
transcribing it.
Yeah,
I
the
could definitely see that on some of the teams. This hand isn't that great. Maybe an Itsu and Manzu. You do have a Dora, but you have the awkward floaters. Even the 9 months, pretty terrible. Much better hand here. Looks like pretty standard pin fu. Not too much value, but a potential 3-4-5 Sanjiku eventually. 1 pin doesn't really connect to anything, but going to hold on as a floater. 4 pin pair up. 3 pairs in this hand, but just Kanchan hell everywhere. How many were there? 6? And here we have a 3-so pair up, but the rest of the hand just isn't there. Oh, well, now you can just go Ipeco if you want. I think it's just 7-so most of that. Cuts the 7 pin. That's actually a bit of a surprise.
It's not bad. There were definitely too many bad weights there for me to count at such a speed. This is a tough hand. Tough hand here for Matsushima as well. As the dealer.
Fill nicely though. North can be held as a safe tile. Likes the blocks as they are. Ooh, 6-pin fills in nicely. Desperately needs a 4-mon to fill the Matsushima. Oh, there's a Dora pair up. Can't do good Jitoitsu now.
That's 4.
We have 4 pairs. That 6-pin definitely suggests that's the plan.
I agree. That's what it looks like to me. Matsushima starting to get something. But
2-so can be used as the pair here. Can just go in all in for the Ipeco.
What is this?
Speaking of Ipeco, a 5-pin allows that. You can also cut the west-west if you really want to go for the Tanyao.
Yeah, there's also
But I think
like...
the normal cut here is 8-pin. Ooh, goes 5-mon. Doesn't want the 3 unless it connects to a Dora. Understandable.
Yeah, cut 7 from 7-8, so it's all in on 7 pairs right now. Sometimes going all in on 7
there's
pairs...
your Ipeco fill. That's now very wide Ishunten.
Yeah, sometimes the discards that are all in on 7 pairs make it a little obvious that you're doing 7 pairs. So people are a little more wise. So sometimes doing these kind of discards actually backfires on you. We'll see.
Oh, that 6 connects, and that is a very wide Ishunten.
Yeah, very nice. Another pair.
Speaking of pair-ups, yeah. Well, the problem is you have this 1-2 pen share, you're not through. Oh, there's his Tempai. This is just Riichi Pinfui Beiko on 3-6-mon.
That's not bad. It's not bad. The weight is a little bit overlapped.
That's also Tempai. Probably Riichi the 8 here. Riichi Pinfu, possibly Peiko.
Yeah, I don't see a good reason to cut a 5 instead. The only other option is like 6-pin and the Shan.
Well, your other option is west-west.
Yeah.
But I don't like it. It should be Riichi. And there it is.
Just right in.
Riichi Pinfu, possibly Peiko, 4-7-pin. There's our another pair, so Ishunten on that route. Speaking of Ipeco.
Yeah, that's one away here from Matsushima.
I think you're just folding at this point. Because you're going to be at a terrible way. You can go east-east if you want to be a little aggressive with it.
She is last place dealer, though. It's a tough spot. It's their last dealer, but there's 2 Riichis. Can you cut 1 2-mon when 1 is Dora? Can you cut 3 5-so? She's going to do it. She's going to go 3 5-so.
Goes with the 3-so.
Woo.
And there's the east. It is passed, interestingly.
Yeah, because it wouldn't even make her Tempai here. She would be 1 away.
Oh, speaking of Tempai,
so
that Shitoitsu Dora 2 on 2-pin, I believe.
The dealer's the only one who's not Tempai right now. Kind of unfortunate for her. Matsushima. We got a 9-so here.
There's 1 out on the right. It looks like a pretty good weight. The question is, you want to throw this 2-pin.
It's
out. Just stays Dom on the 2-pin.
Is that Tempai?
Well, there's our Tempai. Riichi on the Riichi Dora 1, Kanchan 3-mon, or Penchon 3-mon.
That's right. So we got 4 players Tempai, 3 of them in Riichi.
3-mon versus 3-6-mon versus 4-7-pin versus 2-pin.
This 2-mon doesn't deal in, but it's so close to the Dora. She's
Yeah,
gotta
it's so
be thinking.
bad.
Nagata. I mean, she has a lot of tiles around that area, but still.
I feel with everyone in Tempai, you just need to Riichi regardless. I don't think the 1000's that important.
Yeah, and I don't think it's a draw here.
Yeah, you have to figure someone's going to win. You still have a full row to go here.
I mean, the 4 Riichi draw.
There it is.
Fired out. Russian
Riichi roulette. There's our 2-mon.
Oh my goodness.
It's the Ipatsu. Riichi Ipatsu. Chitoitsu. Dora 2. Ura 2.
That's crazy. It just happens like that sometimes.
Just gets the Baimon.
Oof, Matsushima.
Welcome to the game.
After those 2 first places, this 3rd game is just 1 game too many, it seems like.
Enough to overtake first.
That is truly a twist of fate right there, right into the negatives. And we go into South 3, that's also her last dealer, so even more unfortunate for Matsushima. But the other 3 players are definitely still in the running for first place here.
Yeah, very close game here. Shirogane a little bit behind. Will be deal here in South 3. Has a South Onko and pretty good shapes altogether. Potential 3, 4, 5 Sanshiko. This is a great starting hand. Formon is Dora. Have a Haku pair, Sha pair. Of course, the Haku is the only Yakuhai there, but can be fast and cheap if you want it.
Yeah, that's one of the things about that quick hand play style that Kaji has, is that you don't generally build up that much of a lead. And of course she had a bigger lead when she got the Tanya Dora 3 on her dealer, but then she dealt into a Mangan, still in the lead then, but when somebody pulls out an enormous hand like this. Alright,
so we have a couple monster hands, a cheap hand here, and one really bad one.
Yeah, it all depends if Kaji gets another Dora here.
Yeah, we have Ishunten here for Riichi, or even potentially Riichi Penfu Dora.
Shirogane has a decent hand as the dealer. Kaji's gonna hold on to the Dora, hoping to
Now that is
it.
Tempai, but it's an ugly one. Yeah, it does not take it. You want the Itsu upgrade, if nothing else.
Yeah, Matsushima just not really much material to work with in this hand, but she really needs that comeback.
It can be Tempai. If you throw the Dora out, it goes. Just want to shut this down, move to South 4.
It's not going to be enough for first, though. Huh?
No, well, as dealer in South 4, you're less worried about it.
That's fair. Although without the stopping after being in first place, if you win the Agariyame,
yeah,
you do usually need a little bit of a cushion.
Right. Ooh, and then we have the 5-mon who gets a potential Onko and that floating 4, that 4-5-5-5 shape. Potentially can accept 2 Dora. Beautiful upgrade.
Yeah, it looks like Nagata has taken Tempai here this time. She did not Riichi, though. Does she even have Yaku? I don't think she has
looking
Yaku.
For Itsu. No, there's no Yaku.
Yeah, she's
wants the 1 pin or the 9
holding
pin.
on it.
4 pin is not the tile you were looking for, but we'll go ahead and hold it for now. Just shut it down. Subo.
300, 500. There it is.
Yeah, just 1 Han, nothing fancy. Says, I want South 4. I want my dealer turn. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, obviously she wanted a hand that was large enough to get first place. She held on to the Dora a little bit longer, hoping it would pair up or something that she could use it, but when she saw the route to Tempai, she decided to take her best chances, and off she goes into South 4. About 3,000 points to first place, 2,900, but also after a win will need to play another hand because she's the last dealer. So
yeah, Shirogane's position's pretty clear. Mangan Sumo takes first. Kaji, of course, just wants to win anything as dealer. Nagata just wants to win anything to end the game. And Matsushima's kind of the entry position you're in. Such a bad spot. Do you really build that Hanemon or Baimon or even Yakumon? Or do you just take what you can get and try and salvage some points?
yeah, I think it's going to really depend on whether her hand can actually bring her to the peak, so to say. Can her hand actually support this miracle? And it doesn't look great so far.
No, that's pretty bad. Maybe a 4-5-6 Sanshiku if you can shift the Pinzu from the 5-7 to a 4-5-6, but going to requires home. Now this hand on the other hand is very nice. It's Ishunten. Kind of ugly. Throws it back. Didn't like the Tumon. Definitely likes the extended Pinzu shape. May even be going for Chinitsu with how that's being played.
Yeah, Nagata with the pair of white dragons.
Well, there's your 4-5-6 Sanshoku. Well, that's not going to be nearly enough to overtake, but at least some value out of it.
Yeah, she needs like a direct hit Baimon, basically. So
Well,
unless
that's what got her in this mess in the first place.
you're right, it was a very sneaky one. Well, she couldn't do anything. She was in Riichi.
Yeah, old Riichi roulette. You can't do anything about it sometimes.
Yeah, that was that was the fourth player to put the Riichi down as well.
You see, he just wants to get value, and the draws aren't moving there. You see the 2-mon, 3-mon in the discards, and actually feel kind of sad, but wants Ipeiko, wants Shinitsu ideally, but with the scoreline, I think you just take anything you can get. Gonna hold on to the Dora, though. I think that's what's really restraining that hand. She wants the Dora to pair up.
Yeah, although I've definitely seen the players in this game be much more willing to discard Dora than the previous two games. And of course it has bit one of the players already. Someone did deal in on the Dora.
Well, there's our Dora.
Yep.
So it's been cut by the first person. We'll see if it gets followed. Ooh, 6-0 pair. Can go Tanya now. Nope, still holding that pay. That's a pair up, but what are you doing? Yeah, just throws it back. I think this is fine.
Yeah, I might have thought about cutting. Well, never mind.
This should probably the 7-pin. I guess you can go 8-6-0, but I think you take your Ishunten for the Sanshoku.
Yeah, I think Matsushima just goes for as many points as she can here and hopes somebody else cons.
Right.
Not super likely, but I don't think you can hope for anything more.
Shirogane has a huge incentive to con if there's anything close. But ooh, that's a fill.
That's huge.
Now Ishunten.
Big for Nagata. Nagata 1 away or Matsushima gets an improvement.
Ooh, there's an improvement to a possible Riichi Pinfu Tanyo Ipeiko.
What is that? It's a 2-pin? Is that? No, not quite. Not yet.
No, it's not Tempai, but the way the hand was played once, Honitsu anyway. I'm going to take the Ishunten here. With that 4-4-5, 6-6-8 shape, you're either going to get the Sanshoku option or you're going to get the Ipeiko. Tunes a miss. 7-so's a hit. That should just be a Riichi. There it goes. Riichi, Pinfu, Sanshoku on 6-pin, and just the 2 Han on the other end.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be big points. Not enough to get out of the hole, but it'll be a nice consolation prize at least to end the game.
Especially if you get 8,000 out of it.
Right.
You're pretty sad if you win the 2,000 here.
Hope for Uradora in that case. But is there any possibility? It's got Pinfu, right? So Pinfu's 1.
Yeah, it's just Riichi
2.
Pinfu, possible Sanshoku.
I don't think there's any Ura 3 opportunities, so I don't see Baimon on the board. So yeah, no Ura 3 chances. So unless somebody else cons for her.
Pretty ID Shanten there with that 5-1 draw.
Yeah. And this will not get her out of last place.
And Kaji doesn't feel like she's going to challenge here, just throwing the 1-pins like that.
Right.
May have a way to get back in later, but not challenge this directly anyway.
Yeah, a couple of the 3-pin over here in Shirogane's hand. There's another one there, also a 6-pin though. And there's a 6-pin in Nagata's hand, so a lot of the weight is already gone, but we are close to the end of the wall, so not unheard of for a lot of the weight to be already gone.
There's the Dora pair up, but obviously wasn't fighting that hard with his hand.
Is that? No, every time I see
No,
it.
that's the worst tile to draw here.
It's a tough one.
Trying to find a way back
Oh,
in.
no
just
dealing.
The Dora.
Shirogane does not deal
No,
in.
we may just have one person tempai at the end here.
I think at least it would get her back to positive if nobody else is tempai.
No, because you lose the 1,000 from the Riichi stick.
Yeah, I think it's already
I don't know if
counted
that's
in.
calculated in there.
I think in our new overlay here, it's already counted. This is not tempai, so it's a tough push. But as the dealer, maybe it's worth it. For Kaji.
With Haku, it's live.
Yeah, it's a tough push for sure.
But you're also probably going to push either 3-pin or 8-mon later. I feel like I'd prefer throwing one of those right now.
Fair option, but those are both...
I just see yeah, they're both awful is the problem.
Okay,
I think the 8-mon was safer here, and so going to take the option.
It's one more
just
draw.
With all you know, there could just be a Haku pair up.
Right, exactly. Or a
and then you just have your pair, you don't have to throw it anyway. You throw the 3, of course. We know the 3 deals in.
Oh, out comes a white dragon, so that's gonna free Kaji up here to go right into tempo. If she can get the tile that she's looking for. Only one more draw though, I think. That is not it. It's close, but it's not. And that's it. The hand is over.
Yeah, just one player tempai misses out on everything, and of course the stick's gone, so we see the 3,000, and from the score anyway, it means that 1,000 was subtracted, but it means our final's going to come up here. Nagata in first place with 47.1.
Congratulations, Nagata. Oh, she's looking into the camera. But the
That's
light.
the sigh of relief. Kaji there with 14.2.
Very close match for sure.
Shirogane with minus 12.5. A little disappointed when you're in the kind of fight like that, and Matsushima just that Baimon, you can't say anything else. You deal into a Tonki Patsu Baimon. Not much you can do about it. When all 4 players are in Riichi like that. I mean, that is definitely the hand of the day.
Yeah, that was crazy. 4 players Riichi, what are you gonna do? I mean, it definitely took a lot of guts for Nagata to just fire it off on a 7 pairs weight, right? That's just a pair weight, and you're fighting 3 Riichis, but she said, what else am I gonna do?
Like I said at the time, it's not like the 1,000 is going to make that much of a difference, but just think of the different situation the game is if you just Dama, take your 6,400, and feel reasonably good about it. Sure, you get the other sticks, but that compared to 16,000 just completely upends the game.
7 pairs, the shortcut to Hanemon, or in this case, Baimon.
Yeah, normally when you get that, it's from the Sumo being the Yaku, but you can get to those even number big jumps if you hit Ipatsu.
That's right. They're both worth 1 Han. Woo. So what a game. What a game 3. That was a banger. End the day out. And our first game had a lot of triple Riichi. Our second game was a little more quiet, but yeah, let's check out the scores here.
Not a great day for Mahjong Cafe, but Mahjong Day Service Welchao 53.6 takes that big hit in that last game, loses out on that Baimon, and still has a very solid day, which shows how strong Matsushima was at those first 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, with the first place Oka, right? The plus 20, getting a first place usually better than getting a 4th place. Like, usually more than makes up for the 4th place, but it was a really big 4th place, as we mentioned, just barely above 0. So it actually turned out to be a pretty big hit. However, still good enough to take Welchao, Team Mahjong Day Service Welchao, to the overall winners of the day, and by quite a bit too. So overall good play by Matsushima.
Matsukaze with a slight negative and ML Stadium with a slight positive there with Nagata on the end, picking up that first and getting them at 6.2 for the day.
That's right. So overall,
that is not a huge gap as we're in session 7.
Yeah, and we're not even halfway done yet. Next week is the halfway mark, so huge. Well, I guess for these guys, they're more than halfway done because there's 10 sessions per set per group of 4. So they have 3 more sessions to play, and they're going to be very tightly matched. 3 sessions, of course, is not 3 games. That's 3 games each session. So they have 9 games to turn this around or to fall down. And only the top
other thing
advances.
here is we talked about the tiebreakers for some of the second place qualifying teams. It's going to be a score distribution like this that ends up likely getting those seats.
That's right. There are a few wild cards. A couple of the second place teams will make it through. And as we said, the wild card is not overall points, but it's the difference between your score and the first place score of your group. So like you said, if it's close, second place might get in on the wild card. It's going to be pretty exciting. Whew. We also have, as I kind of teased a little bit earlier in the stream, our triple header player Matsushima here actually was flagged down by Jen for you could almost consider it a quadruple header, because Jen's interview questions are in there. It's almost like playing another match. No, not really. It is a little bit of a shorter interview, but we do have an interview with our player Momoka Matsushima. We'll check it out.
Hey everyone! So today's interview is going to be Momoka Matsushima. She played 3 games today, all on broadcast. I think she must be exhausted, but let's just have a chat and see how she's doing. 今日は3連投。
はい。
お疲れ様でした。
ありがとうございます。
なんか、配信卓の方は緊張したり疲れたりします？
いや、なんかいつも打ってる配信卓よりはあまり緊張しなかったです。他の卓が麻雀やってたりしてたので、なんかそれで気が紛れたというか。はい。
よかった。私1回目と2回目のトップにいたんだけど、3回目ラスでした。まあでもプラス。
そうですね。自分のトータルはプラスで終えれて。
今、チームはどんな感じですか？チームは、
マイナス多分20ポイントくらいになったんじゃないかな。
でもプラスでそれぐらい。
そうですね。
まだ狙える範囲で。よかった。で、なんかちょっと気になったんだけど、看護師さんで、麻雀デイサービスで働いてるということ。それはなんか、ね、みんなメンバーとか想像しやすいんだけど、多分、私の勝手な想像なんだけど、打ったりして看護師の、役割も果たしたりするって感じですかね。
はい、そうです。
例えば1日ってどんな感じですか、流れ的には。
1日は、まあ一応介護施設なんで、朝来たら、血圧とお熱を測って健康状態を把握しながら、お風呂入る人はお風呂で、で、麻雀する人はもうそのまま麻雀やっちゃいましょうって感じで。あとは合間に、体操やって、まあずっと麻雀だと結構筋肉がこわばっちゃったりするので、まあ体操を含みながら麻雀も楽しんでもらってみたいな感じでやってます。
ね、私たちはみんなも麻雀大好きだから、私たちもそれぐらいの年齢とかになったらそういうところ行きたいんだろうなと思って。
確かにそうですね。
そう、だからどんな感じかな。あとなんか海外多分そういうのは、そういうデイサービス自体はあんまりないから、なんかみんな面白いかなと思って。はい。最後に勢い的な。ごめんなさい。
前回と今回でプラスで続けてる、トータル、どんどん戻してきてるんで、こっからですね。
はい。じゃあ頑張ってください。
はい、ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
Alright, well, that was Momoka Matsushima of Mahjong Day Service Welchao.
The big winner of the day, of course.
Yeah, and as you can see, one of the, I guess, more unique sponsored teams in the Yukan Fuji League this year. So as you can see, it is first and foremost like a seniors care facility. Just so happens to specialize in playing mahjong. But as you could see, as a nurse, she did have to do the typical duties. I think a lot of us know a good bit about that. She had to help take care of the seniors, bathing, making sure they get exercise. That's relevant to everybody. You don't want to be sitting crouched over for too long. You got to stretch a little after the games, take some breaks.
Oh, of course, and especially for seniors, you talk about Mahjong. It will make you think a lot of times, and especially if you're exposed to some professionals or even some younger players. The styles have changed over the decades. It's a way to keep yourself mentally fit.
Yep, health on the inside and out. So that is the end of our stream today. Of course, thank you, Corak, for commentating with me on Game 3. Much appreciated.
Of course.
Always nice to get that play-by-play from the commentator voice of Corak. Of course, this is the World Riichi Championship channel. The hosts of the World Riichi Championship, the biggest Mahjong tournament outside and will soon be inside Japan as well with WRC Tokyo 2025. I am Tipzntrix. You can catch me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Tipzntrix, and you can also hear Corak on the American Riichi Mahjong League doing commentary at twitch.tv/American Riichi. Not ARML, not American Riichi Mahjong League, but just American Riichi. Whew. All right, Corak.
All right, well, we will be here tomorrow at the same time. New broadcaster, a few of the same commentators, and as you can see there on the schedule, we have this month packed.
Yeah, three weeks, 6 days in those 3 weeks. So it's a busy schedule this week. A lot of sessions, and of course, that November 22nd. So definitely come back tomorrow. But November 22nd, Jen is gonna be on stream.
We'll try not to rag on her too much. No promises, though.
All right, but yes, tomorrow we will have Group 15, and we'll just go through the full standings very quickly here. Whoop! Of course, we've seen a lot of these teams. I believe we've probably casted every single group at this point. I don't remember doing Group 11, but most likely Nathaniel did it on a Friday.
And you see in a bunch of these tables, one team is really pulled out. And then there's Group 9.
Yeah, Mahjong Seoul just barely ahead. I think we casted them on a Thursday. The Mahjong Seoul, the new generation.
I want to say they were our first broadcast.
Yeah, I think so. So that's going to be a very interesting group. And next week, we've got Group 15 in the bottom left. So that's the Riichi City group. For those Vortex Gallery members, that's the team sponsored by Riichi City here. They are well ahead of their group here with plus 174.1. I'm not sure whether they're going into session 7 as well, but I believe so. I believe they're going into their 7th out of 10. And of course, Musashi Koyama non-smoking Mahjong Bar, Maika, and Mahjong Otomedan for that group. So we will be watching a Group 15 tomorrow with Jen. So Jen will be awake and active, and we're going to have Cairo as well, who is here today. A reprisal of role from Cairo. Make sure to give us a thumbs up on this broadcast and subscribe to the WRC channel so you can catch us tomorrow and the rest of the month and the rest of the season, honestly. Well, from all of us here at WRC, Corak and Tipzntrix signing off. Have a good night, everybody.
Hey, Carol.